Joe Rogan Podcast. Check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day.
What are the odds that you and I are wearing the same shirt?
It's so weird. And it's a shirt I drew and I'm putting up on my website to sell.
Yeah, I just don't have the midriff showing. Did you
Well,
trim that
I
yourself?
did trim it myself. I cut all my shirts.
Well, all of them?
Yeah, I had a girl come up to me who's very skinny who goes, "You've really given me like a lot of inspiration, like how you'll just wear a midriff no matter what." And I was like, "Oh my god, bitch."
What does that mean?
I was like, but yeah, I like to. I'm loud and proud, muffin top, and around this town, baby.
Wow, you don't give a fuck.
No,
Good for you.
I like cropping it. I think they land weird. I have hips, so they land weird on my hips. They get tight on my hips, so I just crop that bitch. Hoist my sweatpants up high.
Which is what you wear most of the time, right?
Yes, when I came to Austin last time, by the way, nobody warned me
About
the fucking swamp ass situation here. I was wearing sweatpants. All I have is sweatpants. I gained a little weight over COVID, loud and proud. I don't give a shit. But I refuse to buy new clothes. So I'm a size 4 till the seams pop.
I don't know what that is. Is that a
Like
lot?
a size 4 is
What's
like
Jamie?
Jamie, if he was a girl, would be a size
He
like
might
8.
be a girl. Why don't you not be rude? Look at his
With
hair.
that hair.
33.
33?
I know, Jamie. What's going on with the hair?
I'm trying to get him to shave his head. He
I
won't
need
do
to
it.
find somewhere to cut it is all.
Well, it's impossible to
somewhere
find
to cut it is above the ears.
There's no way. No one cuts hair anymore.
I haven't-
That's like going to a blacksmith.
I know.
You have a low pone, which is so upsetting. Like I thought I hated man
Different
buns.
sizes. It's just where I put it.
Do you ever do man bun?
Of
Not
course.
up top. No.
Sometimes he does like a samurai.
He should. Give him one of your swords. Yeah, Jamie, this is an intervention.
All right. What's up?
Why did you get your hair cut? I don't understand.
I meant to do it this weekend. I did other stuff instead. I don't know.
I would have been so happy. I would have been
just, like, not
so
a priority.
honored. Do you ever wear it down? Can you take your hair down for us?
Yeah, sure.
It's confusing.
It's long.
I think he's transitioning.
Okay, I think he's definitely trans. I want to do trans watch.
Very long.
Jamie. You like Abraham Lincoln.
You think so? I think he looks like a rock band from the 90s.
Yes, you do.
Well, it's the third time I've had long hair, and that was the first time why I had long hair.
When you were in a band.
in the 90s.
Was this like a COVID reaction?
Yeah. I just couldn't find a barbershop. You couldn't go anywhere.
There's so many
let it go.
barbershops. It's so dumb.
There's like
Now there
scissors.
are, but
I
there
got
wasn't
scissors.
then.
I was able to cut this shirt, okay, while I was traveling. You can cut that hair.
Is that easier to cut a shirt than
It was
hair?
actually kind of hard.
I would say it's easier than hair, though, don't you think?
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good comparison. I want to go back to the skinny girl. The skinny girl who's like, that you have such confidence to wear that. Like, girls do shit like that to each other, right?
Listen, I'm all about, I realize I've been really judging a lot of people and wasting my time judging others. So I'm just taking everything people say and I'm just enjoying it. And I laughed my fucking ass off when she said that to me.
Really?
Yes.
Do you know her well?
Not that well, but enough that I send her love and light.
Oh, okay.
Like love and light, cunt.
Love and light cunt. That should be your next shirt.
I'm happy. Listen, I gained weight because I wasn't giving a fucking shit over this damn pandemic. So
Well, I think it's because you ate a lot of food.
I did eat a lot of food.
I don't think it had
I was
anything to
eating
do-
a lot of noodles.
Ah, that'll do it.
I got into, my boyfriend is half Asian. I got into a lot of the cuisine.
Ah. What kind of food?
A lot of pho. I mean, he
Oh.
actually didn't. It was
I
just
like how
me.
you said it right.
Pho, of course.
Most people are all faux.
I know. But pho does sound upsetting. It took me many years to
It's weird.
to
I don't
say
say
correct.
it. I
What do
never
you say?
say it.
You say pho?
I mean, I just don't say it.
You just say, can I have those
I
noodles?
wait for my family to want to order it, and then I go, yeah, we'll eat that. My kids love it. They
But
love pho.
I always thought like it's rice. It's not like regular noodles. So you kind of convince yourself. But then, it's about this much.
Big ass bowl.
Yeah.
Of stuff. There's a great place in Woodland Hills we used to go to. Oh my God, it was sensational.
What was it called?
I don't remember, but it was really good.
Oh, you guys almost got such a good advertisement.
Sorry.
Sorry, you
It
should have
was
had a better
so good.
name. I go to a place called Absolutely Fabulous, and if those if those people had a good name like that, that's on La Cienega. I love them.
Yeah, that is one thing. LA had a real good scene in terms of like variety of food. Actually, for a small city, because Austin's pretty small, there's a lot of variety here. There's obviously a lot of Tex-Mex, obviously a lot of barbecue.
You're like, they have so much variety here. They have Tex, they have Mex. It's amazing.
No, but you can get Korean food here. There's a lot of sushi. There's a lot of Japanese. There's Indian food. There's a lot of different. Because it's a college city. There's all kinds of different folks come here and stay here.
Yeah, I've only eaten. I went to what was the barbecue place I went to?
Did you go to Terry Black's?
Yes, I went to Terry Black's. That was the first place I went to.
You don't need to go anywhere else.
It was so good.
Everywhere else, there's places that are as good, like Franklin's and La Barbecue, and there's some killer places, but they don't get better. It's not possible.
Yeah, it was
It's not
great.
possible.
It was so good. It was fast. It was easy.
Yeah, you do go through the. But we fucked it up by talking about it too much.
So
The
now
other
it's
day
all
we there was a
packed.
giant ass fucking line.
Well, when I went there, it seemed like a really big line. The parking lot was full, and it still went fast. So I was like, all right.
Well, it's a cafeteria style.
Yeah.
And they're on the ball.
Do you do
chop.
cafeteria when you go?
Yeah, you got to.
Are people like hovering around you?
You can sometimes when it's too crazy, they'll just bring us over what we want. But yeah, I like going in line. I like doing the thing.
I didn't get to do a pit tour. I like doing the pit tour.
Oh, the pit tour's the shit.
Yeah.
They make their pits themselves. They use
That's
propane
cool.
tanks. They have someone weld them and shit.
Would you ever bring them elk you killed to barbecue up?
Yes, I definitely would. Yeah, but you know when they barbecue stuff, it's like a 12-hour process. Like they took us on a tour of the brisket making, and the guy was explaining to me how he does it. He has like a piece of paper, and he writes down which ones went in at which time.
Yeah.
And they don't use thermometers. They just know. They just know like what the temperature of the meat is, and they know when it's ready, and they know when to wrap it in butcher paper. It's an art. It really is. The slow smoking art, offset cooking.
So good.
Yeah, it's a real
The
art
fat
form.
dripping off. Really good. All the different sauces. I went there. I went to another place that had like tapas. I had some bone marrow, which I've decided I hate. I never have been able to decide whether I am disgusted by bone marrow or I like it. I hate it.
Bone marrow on garlic bread at a restaurant in town called Red Ash is fucking sensational. Don't you laugh.
I'm not
telling
laughing.
you.
I'm just saying it's one of those things. It feels like I'm on Fear Factor. Honestly, every time I
Feels like
eat
you
it, I'm
swallow.
like, it's mental. It's mental. It's mental. I'm smearing that shit. I'm scraping it off the bone, which you're not going to eat it when it's not on the bone. It has to come out on the bone.
Right.
So you can't pretend it's not coming from where it's coming from.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
And it's
And
just
you want to
that-
get it clean, like right when it comes out of the oven too.
Yeah, when it's still like, and I take a couple bites and I go, I think I like this, and then I'm like kind of gagging.
Yeah. I don't think it's everybody's thing.
Yeah, I've tried. I'll try again.
I love it.
I like to try things. Like if anyone brings me any weird thing, I like to try it. I used to, before I knew you, I used to pretend I was on Fear Factor. I'd be like, I'd like take a thing, I'd be like, all right, take a bite.
Here we go.
Here we go. I watched an episode recently. I told you
Did
that,
you?
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched like a couples episode. It was like couples championships. They came back and you had married a couple. You were ordained and married this couple.
Yeah. They were from Dallas.
Yeah.
Nice folks. Wonder if they're still together. They were really nice.
I mean, I hope they're still together, but you know, with these marriage rates, I can't.
Well, what is it like? It's not even 50%. I don't think. Right? That make it.
I don't know. Are people even getting married anymore?
No, they quit. Everybody quit.
They did?
Yeah, people get married. I think that it's gonna be around forever.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna stop getting married. You know, when people have children and you want to protect and keep everything together and lock it down, that's when it makes sense. You know?
Yeah.
It seems like a crazy institution though, you know, like getting other people involved in your relationship.
Well, the wedding is so weird because the wedding is like you're calling all of your closest family and friends to like hold you accountable for this promise you made. Like everyone's there like, you promised.
Is that what it is? I thought it was like to celebrate. Listen how you look at it. You look at it in a terrible way.
I guess I feel like really embarrassed like sharing like my deepest heart in front of everyone. I don't know. That seems like
Your
very
deepest
vulnerable.
heart?
Well, if I'm like up there and I'm like, you complete me or whatever I'm saying that I mean. But I don't know. I guess I feel different. I feel like I'm growing.
We did a non-religious wedding, and the lady was very nice, but she had the corniest fucking vows that you know the thing that they do.
Yeah.
Your love is two streams that will become a mighty river. And I'm like, oh my god! Like as a comedian, you know, like to sit there and listen to that and not mock it. It's like, oh god.
Should have mocked it. I would have mocked it.
I was holding it together. I was
Yeah.
making faces though.
Did you cry at your wedding?
No, I did not.
You didn't?
No, I did not. I cried when my kids were born.
Yeah.
I cry, but that wasn't a like. I mean, I love her. She's awesome.
I've definitely seen you cry.
I've
You're a good
cried.
boy. I know
cry.
you're a good boy.
I cry. Yeah, I'm a very emotional person in a lot of ways.
I know.
But that was like a fun. It was like I wanted to just get it over with. Let's just
Yeah.
do it, and then
Because
we
it
can have
seems
fun.
stressful. Did you guys have like a really big one? Was
No.
was your wife into wanting it to be?
No, she's not very high maintenance.
Yeah.
She's pretty cool in that regard. You know, it's a small group of friends.
And you had
nice.
your stepdaughter,
Mm-hmm.
and then you didn't have your daughters yet.
No, one of them.
You
Had
did.
one of them. Yeah.
Aw.
It was. It's one of those things where it's like you're doing in the middle of you doing it. You're like, okay, is this happening? We're really doing it because it's like. Hopefully you only do it once.
Yeah.
So while you're doing it, you're like, okay, is this real?
Can you imagine
Yeah.
planning a second fucking wedding?
Some people do it even for no reason.
Yeah.
Like just to say, we're going to go to Tahiti and have a second wedding. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
And then your friends have to go.
No, I mean like your next marriage.
Oh.
Where you're just like,
I have a lot of friends that have gotten married 3-4 times.
yeah. And they do the same amount of effort into each wedding? It's got to
I think
dilute each time.
What
a little.
happens is when you find a new gal and she finds out what you did for the old gal, she's like, listen, motherfucker.
You
we
may have
ain't
lost
doing-
50%, but
Yeah.
you're going to be doing 50 extra
Yeah,
percent.
we ain't doing this one in the park when your last one was in the fucking Bahamas.
Yeah. Can I tell
Let's
you-
go.
How cool it is that there's shooting stars in
That's
your
pretty
fucking
dope,
sky.
right? How cool is it that it's 180 degrees in this room?
I'm sweating so much. I'm so
Sweating.
glad I chose black shirts.
Yeah, something happened to our AC over the last couple of days.
You think a
apparently.
guy with a ponytail would really want to keep it cool in here?
I know, that's what I'm saying.
That's
not
the guy
his.
who made it. He has,
Yeah, he has a ponytail
so
too.
blame
That's
me.
true. Well, it's not even his fault. It's obviously one of our units is fucking up. But that's a common thing here. We were at the creek in the cave the other night, and it was fucking sweating, like dripping into my eyes on stage.
And it's hard. I've said this before. When you're on stage and you start to sweat, that's a symptom of bombing. And it's hard to, my body goes into like save yourself mode when I start sweating. And it's like,
Well, you're not comfortable.
yeah. And I'm like,
you have to be comfortable on stage.
you're like I can't see.
Well, with you too, you got eye makeup, so it's like that shit's gonna get in your eyes. I remember
I'm
one
actually
time,
don't wear makeup. This is what I wake up. for.
Crazy.
I'm so pretty.
You are so pretty
just
for like
wake up like
natural. I remember one time I came straight from Fear Factor and I had sunscreen on, and I didn't realize I had sunscreen on, and I'm on stage and I sweat. And the sweat got in my eye, and then I was in pain. So I was trying to do my act like while my
Yeah.
eyes were tearing up.
That's terrible. I also, that's why I can't surf.
Oh,
I've tried
salt water.
surfing, and I'm like, it's so embarrassing when I'm doing something everyone else is doing fine, and everyone seems like not. And I'm like, my eyes are burning. I'm like, is
Yeah,
there
what
something
is that?
wrong with
How
me?
come some people could just open their eyes in salt water and swim around? It doesn't bother them at all. Can you do it, Jamie?
I haven't tried for a long time, so I don't know. I don't
You have
think so.
surfer hair. You should get out there before
You
you
seem
cut
like
it.
a surfer.
We need to make an excuse for this hair.
Well, you know, in Texas, there's a place down in Waco where it's an indoor surf place.
I know about Waco.
Yeah, that's a different thing. That's they don't like to talk about that anymore. Now it's like a home improvement spot. Do you know that? Like, there's a family.
They're
that,
really good at putting up holes.
No, there's
covering
like a
up-
famous family that like settled in Waco. They're on like one of them fix 'em up TV shows.
Oh, the couple.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fixer-upper
Yeah.
couple. Yeah.
Well, that's
That's the
Waco
new-
now.
that's new
That's
Waco,
like
okay.
everybody's in that. But in Waco, there's a.
Waco's not very Woco if they're pretending that thing didn't happen.
Oh, I don't.
You know
think,
you're going to have more of these jokes.
I don't think it's that they're pretending it didn't happen. I just think they don't talk about it that much.
I guess you don't need to.
Well, I mean, everybody knows. You know, the FBI lit those fucking people on fire,
I
whatever,
know.
whatever.
It's like their home improvement
Yeah.
is like, oh, got a bulletproof walls.
Apparently, someone was explaining to me that it wasn't just that the FBI lit that place on fire, but that Koresh knew. So they put bales of hay in the hallways and lit them and filled them up with gasoline. Like it was kind of like a suicide thing. And he'd already been shot, so he had like a bullet hole in him and some wild shit. You know, well, the cults like that. It's like, how the fuck, right? How does it get to that? Like, how does someone like all of a sudden you find yourself in a fenced off, 10-acre, I don't know how many acres the place was, but
Yeah.
where you have guns and you're fucking everybody's wife. And
I know
everybody
once
has
a
to give you
guy's
their
like,
money.
I'm going to fuck your wife, that's when you got to go, I think I need to exit.
Don't think you're working in the name of Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus does not want you to bang my wife. Unless that's what you're into.
But that area has an indoor surf place. And my friend Kenny Fong, shout out to Kenny from Dark Side Motors. He's a guy I used to go to get all my car stuff from in L.A. And Kenny fucking flew to, meanwhile, he lives in California, flew to Texas to surf at this place, which is kind of hilarious.
But do they have salt water?
It's an indoor place. It's a wild-ass indoor surf place.
I think I've seen Schultz
This
doing
one's
it.
outdoor, I think.
Oh, shit. Is this Waco?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it is outdoor?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yep,
Waco's
I
on the
think this
up,
is
guys.
it.
Look at
you're
this.
Right. Why did I think it was indoor?
Is this where
Look
the
at this.
Koresh place was? They just built
they
this
leveled
over
it, and the bodies of the people are underneath
That's
the
really
water.
incredible.
Sometimes when you go under, you see a skull. It's fucking badass, though. I mean, what a great place to learn how to surf, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't have to wait for waves. It's like if you had the only way to learn jiu-jitsu was wait for someone to grab you, that would suck,
Yeah.
right? You have no one to roll with. This
I
is
haven't
like you
done
have
jiu-jitsu.
training.
I have not done jiu-jitsu since before the pandemic. I am now so grossed out. I was thinking about all the ball sweat. I was thinking about the smell of
Ball
the
sweat.
Yes, the smell of and
Men.
listen, I'm not Mr. Clean over here. I got my own smells going on.
You smell
In fact,
great.
when I would go
When
to
I hugged you, I was impressed.
When I would go into class, when I would go into 10th plane, I would go to whoever my partner was. I did yoga before this, so I'm sorry or thank you, whichever, or I'm sorry or welcome, whichever you're into. I'm not sure what you like.
Now, you would go yoga and then straight into jiu-jitsu?
Well, I would try to wash off a little bit.
But that's crazy. That's
Yeah.
a lot of exercise.
Oh, I was ripped before. I was doing,
Bro.
I was not like, well, I wasn't ripped, but I was
shredded.
I was pretty good before the pandemic. And then,
That's a lot of exercise in one
Yeah.
day, though, is what I'm saying.
yeah, I would do that. And then I had a meditation class I would go to.
Damn, look at you. Center.
And I was still fucking psycho, dude. I was way more psycho then than I am now.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think that's about?
I think I did a lot of work on myself over this quarantine.
Well, people are forced to like think about themselves or think about other people. There was a lot of that.
Oh,
you
I
know?
went through both. And I'm telling you, this week specifically, I've been working on it. I'm just really focusing on like myself and what I like. I was talking to Jamie earlier. I'm writing a movie with Bonnie McFarlane.
Oh, I love Bonnie.
I love her so much.
I just worked with her a couple
Yeah,
weeks ago.
I know. I was here. I was
that's
working with her
right.
too.
That's
And we're at the Creek in the Cave. I'm telling you, I watched Bonnie's full set. I fucking went up to her afterwards crying. Like, I'm so glad I'm friends with her. She's so funny. She's just the real deal. There's no bullshit. She said some of the funniest shit I have ever fucking heard in my life. Her crowd work, I mean, she's like unmatched. And I'm just
I've known Bonnie for 27 years, I think. Something crazy like that.
Yeah.
It was like something really crazy. It might have been more. It might be more than 27 years, which is wild.
Yeah. She's such a fucking killer. If you go back and look at her specials too, like her HBO special it was like right when I started comedy, I think she did it. It's still like from beginning to end, amazing.
She's just a really smart person,
Yep.
period. You know?
Yeah.
And her and Rich, are they still doing their podcast?
Yeah, they
'Cause
are.
They're fucking great at that
It's
too.
so funny. She posted a clip where Rich was talking about his lisp and he was like, no, people make fun of my lisp, but if I was missing arms, they wouldn't make fun of it. And Bonnie's like, Rich, your like lisp has never gotten in the way of your life. And I commented, I was like, it has gotten in the way of my life. But they're just so funny. They're just calling each other out. Like Bonnie and I were talking about it today. It's like Rich is such a good dude. Like he just has a person that challenges him on every angle, and that's why they're so fucking funny, dude. They just
Yeah.
have two people that are just pop, pop, pop.
Well,
pop.
he can take it better than anybody I've ever met in my life. Like when we used to do
Anal?
Opie and Anthony, no, not anymore.
Oh, okay.
After the thing, it all ended. But when we used to do Opie and Anthony together, he could fucking take it better than anybody.
Yeah.
When everybody was piling on,
Yeah.
Rich was the best.
Yeah, he's so funny. He can fight his way out. It's like that scene. And did you watch Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Do you remember the fight scene where they were all piling on him, on Jon Snow, and he like got out? It's like that's how I imagine Rich when people are making fun of him.
Well, it doesn't seem to bother him. Like he'll fire back,
Yep.
but it doesn't seem to hurt his feelings.
He doesn't care if one fires and it doesn't go.
No, he takes swings.
Yeah. But I used to sit next to him. We would do Judge Roast Battle at the Stand in New York, and I always sat next to him. I was like, I love sitting next to Dum Dum. He would ask questions about like what the rules of the show were. I'm like, Rich, we've done this 5,000 times together. You don't know the rules of the fucking show. He's just such a ding dong. I just
think
love
half
him.
of
But
it's
he's so
for
smart.
show, though. I think half of it is like
No, I was talking to Bonnie about it. He something happens on stage. Like he can pull facts that he doesn't know off stage. He like becomes a thing. He's like brilliant on stage, and then he's just like.
Well, he has to be because he can work the crowd so well. He's so good at working the crowd.
Yeah.
He's a wizard at working the crowd. You know what else this is how fearless that guy is. They used to do this thing on Open Anthony where he would like grab a microphone and walk into like a fucking laundromat and just start doing stand-up. It was cringe. Like people would be waiting in line at a deli. He would go, you know, the other day I saw.
Oh my
and he would
God.
just start doing stand-up, and people would be like, what the fuck is going on? He would just and bombing and
That's
didn't
so
care.
funny.
And they would air it. They would air it on the radio.
Of course.
We used to do this thing in the old days of Opie and Anthony. They were on terrestrial radio and satellite radio. I forget which one was first. I think terrestrial was first and satellite was second.
Yeah.
But we would do one radio show, and then we would walk down the street to the second place. And while we were walking, they were broadcasting.
Wow.
So we were broadcasting with wireless microphones, walking down the street to the next place.
That's so funny. I always want to do a podcast where I'm like on the street, where I just do like it's just an hour of me walking around talking shit to the camera and then like fucking with people on the street.
You should do it on 6th Street.
I should. Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to wait for things to cool down.
They have cooled down.
More security. The
I mean,
horse cops.
how many different mass shootings are you going to have on one street?
I mean, that's a good point, but I think we
odds
just
are
put it
you're
into. I
safe.
think we might have just put it in the universe.
The odds are.
I keep missing all of these crazy events. I was in Nashville right the day before that bombing and before the truck drove into.
Oh, I'm sensing a
Zanies.
pattern.
I don't want to say it's me, guys, but. I have a lot of
The
power.
Zanies truck. What happened there? The guy just left the truck and
I
forgot to
never-
put the brake on. or
I
something?
never found out the story, but I was supposed to do a show the night before and I canceled because I was tired. And that was a lesson. Never cancel a show. Do a show. The fucking.
Yeah. Well, you never
work
should
phone.
cancel a show because you're tired.
Yeah.
Because
You're right.
just once you get there, you'll fire up.
Yeah, you're right. I've never had the hiccups on stage. I've never shit. I do believe I will
Shit yourself?
shit myself on stage.
I never shit myself on stage, but I've come close. I've come very close.
Oh, you have those sets where you're just crap dusting the audience, and you're just like, I hope this mic is loud enough for them to not hear this shit. Oh my God, I forgot. I've been talking about this on stage, but I've never told you this. I had an opener once. I wish I knew her name. I was doing Dead Crow in North Carolina. Do you know
What's
that place?
that? No.
It's a club. It's like a small club. It's cute. I'd love to go back. But next time, warn me about my opener. If my opener does this, if my opener is an actual opener, let me know. So there was a girl she was Canadian, and she was really funny. She had she did her
McFarlane?
set. No.
Bonnie's Canadian.
Yes, Bonnie is Canadian, and she's amazing, and she's my dream friend. I love her. But so the girl finishes her set. She pulls the mic stand down to her crotch. That's never a good sign. When someone pulls it to
Did she queef?
waist level, not only did she queef, she pulled her skirt up, fully vagina out, no
Whoa.
underwear,
No underwear?
and it was a nice vagina. And
She showed the audience her vagina?
and she pulled a kazoo out of her jacket. She put the kazoo into her vagina and she queefed Adele's "Hello."
Really?
She was my opener. I had to go on
And
stage.
the whole audience saw it?
And it was like, I'm not knocking. It was literally the most amazing thing I've ever seen. If you're closing a show, I then had to go on stage and be like, smells like tuna fish. Like, I was like, I have to either shove this microphone up my asshole or I just have to eat a dick for fucking 45 minutes to an hour after this. Every show was just like,
But that's, if you're in the audience and she's showing her pussy, like, that's assault.
It is assault. You're right.
It should be illegal.
Honestly, it wasn't well groomed, but it was just very interesting.
Did I ever tell you about the story where Joey Diaz hid in the backstage? There was a woman on stage. It was not very funny. And Joey hid backstage and took his pants off. And whenever she would hit her punchline, he would open up the curtain and shake his balls.
Oh,
and
my
then close the
God.
curtain. And she was murdering. She this was like in the 90s.
Oh, that's actually sweet. He gave her an
Well,
experience she would never have.
He gave the audience an experience they would never have. It was so ridiculous.
Was he just doing like the chicken heart, or was this dick? He was holding his dick up and just putting his
No,
balls
he
out?
just fucking I don't remember if he was naked or if he had his pants off, and he would just like, ah,
Oh, I thought he was just exposing just the heart.
No, the curtain in the OR. You know,
Okay,
the curtain
yes,
in the OR.
yes.
He was pantsless behind it.
I didn't even know you could go behind that.
You can go behind it, apparently. Yeah.
I think I've tried and almost fallen backwards.
There's not a lot of room. I don't even
Yeah.
know how you get there.
And especially when you take up a lot of room, Joey, no
Yeah,
offense.
LOL. I don't know how
LBS.
How do you get there? How does one get there?
I guess he must have just had to hide there through a couple acts. That's so funny if he had to stay there.
I
through a
don't think
few.
he hid. I think he snuck in while she was on stage. But
Oh my God.
it was like in the 90s, the shows there were so. It might not have been the 90s. It might have been like maybe 2000. I don't remember. Anyway, the shows there were so bad that sometimes someone would get on the lineup and they would be on the lineup like quite a bit. And it was death. It was like this was the death moment. And you knew that if you had to follow them,
Yeah.
like you have an 11:30 spot, they go on before you. You know that room's going to clear out.
Yeah, I've been that spot.
Yeah.
The spot after.
The spot after.
I've been maybe
the
the dead spot a couple times too.
But those fucking shows went like that. When that does happen, like those give you an opportunity to really like dig in and find out what's actually funny.
Yeah, and it's like to have to pick the whole room up is wild. But I would go on after someone who would just always clear the room. I mean, and it would be like a packed, like it would be a night you were on, so it would be like fucking sold out main room. And I'm watching everyone get up and leave. So I would always go, all right, you guys can leave if you want, but if you did, I'm going to tell everyone you raped me. So it's up to you. I'm a white woman. I can do whatever I want. But it was just like, I always had to do like a save line, you know, because it was like so awkward that everyone was leaving. But what I learned, this is something I taught myself over the pandemic too, that my time on stage is my time on stage. I don't have to bring up what anyone's done before. I just need to reset.
Yeah.
And just do my thing.
Yeah,
and I
just
can
own
call
it.
back if I want. Yeah.
It just takes a little time. It takes a little time to shift them over to your
Yeah.
style. That was something that I learned really from watching people in Boston. Learned to watching Dom Irrera in particular, because Dom Irrera was the only guy that I ever saw that went up at Nick's Comedy Stop and did well after the local headliners. Because they used to do this really sneaky thing where they would take the local headliners, guys like Steve Sweeney and Don Gavin and Kevin Knox, and they would murder. I mean, just murder. 3 guys in a row doing like 20 minutes of death.
Yeah.
And then they put up a national headliner.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys just died up there.
Yeah.
And guys quit midweek and like big names, like guys in movies and shit. And Dom Irrera went up there and just owned the room. Just cool, calm, and collected.
Yep.
Just went on stage and had a big smile on his face. And it's like, oh, what a nice round of applause for all these guys. Like, no nerves.
Yep.
And just slid into his material and then eventually took over and was murdering.
Yeah, because if you're thinking about this before, you're not being in the moment. And I feel like I learned a lot. I used to go after Rick Ingram a lot, and Rick just slaughters with crowd work. Like,
Yeah.
And I used to be scared of that spot, and now I'm like, fucking bring it. I don't care. I'm not scared of any spots. This pandemic was, no offense to the people that had a bad one, very good for me.
Was it?
Yeah,
well,
I really-
worked. You worked at it.
Yeah.
It was good. It's good for anytime like there's a change. Obviously, it's not good for people that lost their businesses.
Right, of
And I
course.
was watching this thing today. I was reading this thing today. 37% of all small businesses in America are gone for good. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And it's like, how the fuck did they ever come back? If they do, imagine if you worked for 30 years of your life for something and you built it up, and you're getting by and you're doing well and you're making a good living, and then all of a sudden it's gone.
Yeah, but you know what? Life is unpredictable, and we got to just take it.
Yeah, but this is
figure it out.
because of regulations. This isn't really unpredictable. This
Yeah,
is
but-
just foolishness because
Yeah.
Walgreens was open.
Yeah.
Target,
I know Target was open.
All these different places were open, and they told
It is
small
really
businesses they
weird,
couldn't be
yeah.
open. It's not really weird. It's idiotic.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that think that. I don't want to get into it. It's people that think that it's like an effort that it was on purpose. And that like they recognize that this is an opportunity to get rid of these small businesses and build up these bigger
really?
businesses. Yeah. That's what the most cynical and conspiracy minded amongst us think. They think that they recognize this as an attack on small businesses and an opportunity for big corporations to thrive. Because that's what happened to them. A lot of big corporations thrived.
Yeah. Well,
This
this
stuff-
is a great.
that
Speaking of
stuff's awesome.
corporations,
Killcliff.
well, listen. I didn't take Adderall or anything today because I'm so excited to be here. I don't want to.
Do you take Adderall all the time?
No, every once in a while I do. But You know, I got
So you
the
take meth.
ADD. Meth. It is. Yeah,
It's basically meth.
I call it homework coke. I'm like, who needs a paper towel? But you know, it's good to help you get up and stuff. But it is. Yeah, I'm sure. I can't stand behind Adderall. Is not a.
It's an amphetamine. You know?
But as someone that knows that I'm projecting an Adderall vibe right now,
You're not.
I am just
You're excited.
so excited to be here. The first time I did your show, I was so fucking nervous. Do you remember that? I was like,
You were a little nervous, but you loosened
I
up.
had so much fun. I had such a good
Yeah.
time. Whitney was like a dream. That was so fun. The Whitney episode was like, that was 3 hours of my life that
Pretty fucking
I
fun.
cherish. So fun. And then this one, I'm just like, I just couldn't wait to come.
Look, I'm wearing your shirt.
I know. AnnieLetterman.com.
This black rifle that has 300 milligrams of caffeine, don't fuck with this.
I'm so scared.
This
Rich mocha.
It's really delicious.
Do
too.
I get
That's the
rich if I
problem.
drink it?
No, it's got a rich flavor. That's what it
You've taught me
means.
so much, my king. So, the days
good, right?
not too long ago when you were slapping hundreds into my hand.
Well, you were broke.
I know. No, I really appreciate it. But do you remember when I was gonna? I liked when you told me if I got people away from you that were annoying you, you would give me $100. And then I was slamming people, and you're like, "That's my friend," and I was like, "Oh shit!" I like misread it. I was body slamming people into shit.
Yeah, the old parking lot days.
I know, it's
Good
fun.
times.
It's in an interesting place right now because it's not like full capacity, the Comedy Store, but it's really fun. Are you going to come back and visit us soon?
Yes, for sure. Yeah,
I
when I'm
can't
in
wait.
LA, I'll definitely come back.
You got to come back because we miss
I'm
you.
on a plan. I want to plan like a weekend. Do a weekend there.
Mm-hmm.
Just take a trip and see the homeless shelters and shit.
Well, listen,
I hate
you
that
lied to me about the homeless people here.
They cleared out town hall today. City
Well,
Hall.
today I didn't drive. Yesterday they weren't cleared out. I saw a woman, bottomless. Okay,
Congratulations.
here. And
Was
by the
it the
way,
girl with
our
the
homeless
kazoo?
people. Can I just say no? Our homeless people in LA at least are cute because they were trying to be actors
No,
at
they're
one
not.
point. They were trying to be actors. Yours? How are you fat and homeless? How are you obese and homeless?
Because there's a lot of food out here. The Tex-Mex is really fatty, but there's a lot of services out here, unfortunately or fortunately, depending upon whether or not you.
We just
got
got to figure out listen. It's like I don't want to look at homeless people like they're the enemy or anything. Obviously,
They're not the enemy. It's unfortunate, but it's
It's
also
really,
it didn't used to be like this, and you got to think. Is it really like that many more people are homeless, or is it that they don't go to shelters anymore
Right.
and now they're camping?
Right.
Because that's the argument about it in here.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I haven't really done any research, but the people that I know that are paying attention say a lot of what happened was when they lifted the ban on camping, the outdoor camping thing, all these people that used to stay in these shelters
Were
decided
then were
to
able
just
to do it,
camp.
yeah. And they
'Cause
could
they're
do
like,
drugs. They're
they
not
could do
being
drugs. Nobody fucks with them. And then they go back to the shelters if they want food.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, my neighborhood, I just moved out. I used to live near the Grove, and I had to move out of there because it was so fucking dangerous. Because it's like meth addicts. It's not just like people that are hard on their luck. Like it's drug addicts who are like violent. I had the Citizens app, which just pops up with all the fucking horrible things happening, which is like what a nightmare. But I'm glad I saw it because there was one time I'm out walking my dog, and a fucking homeless guy went into some guy's backyard, just random dude. He goes out. He's like, "What are you doing in my backyard?" Stabs him in the fucking neck. That homeless guy was like on the run for the whole day, just with a knife. He's assaulted one other person, but he killed that guy.
yeah, you told
That
me
was
about
my
that
street.
guy. Yeah, that's fucked.
Like I'm just walking my dog.
Well, and cops don't do anything if someone jumps into someone's backyard. They don't arrest them. Like you have to do like $900 worth of theft before they'll even arrest you.
Really?
And if they do arrest you, they just put you right back on the street.
And has
again.
it always
Nothing
been that way, or is this
happens.
after the defunding?
After the defunding?
Yeah.
Well, that's the defunding of the police in Austin's been a disaster too, and New York's been a disaster. It's terrible everywhere. It's a terrible
Yeah.
idea. The idea that you're gonna send social workers to handle someone's domestic violence
Yeah, I
case is
know.
fucking bananas. And there's a lot of people that don't understand violence that think that's okay, and and they have this like utopian idea of like, we don't need the police, man. We were talking about defunding the police. We're talking about defunding the police. That's what we mean. And then guess what, fuckface? When there's crazy gang lords
Yeah.
roaming the streets, controlling everything, like certain parts of New York, and then people get murdered. And
You made it sound really cool. These gang lords, they're
yeah.
wearing their pimp jackets.
But people in gangs are
Yeah.
look, this is what's happening in Mexico could easily happen here with no police presence. People have to understand that.
Diarrhea when you drink the water. I'm not quite familiar. What's going on?
No, cartels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is violent cartels. Yeah.
Cartels reminds me of cartoons. My shirt.
I don't think it's the same. It's a different word.
Okay. It was really weird because I was in the area that I lived.
That's where Tony lived too.
They burned cop cars like very near my house.
He used to love that area.
It was so
He was like,
beautiful. It was so
amazing.
nice.
And now it's all full of tents.
It was really rough.
Do you know that they're spending fucking... Oh, you ready for this, Jamie? How about this? I'm going to send you this, Jamie, because this is fucking crazy.
But as we're talking shit on Los Angeles, there's still a lot of homeless people here.
Well,
so.
there's a thing. It's nothing in comparison.
It's a
What is
smaller
this?
town.
What's
The
this?
fun
East Hollywood?
Instagram account, yeah.
Oh, is this
Street people
someone's...
of Los Angeles. Where they're all like,
Street people of Los Angeles is good. Gutter people of Los Angeles is better. That's my favorite
Oh my
one.
God, you guys, this is sad.
well, this was the video I was looking at that when you're talking about this like activist lady is trying to, I guess, help, but
What?
there's also a guy with a machete just standing
Jamie,
right
when
behind
you
her.
watched this the first time, what part did you come?
He
Beginning
comes
or
all
end?
the time. He just comes multiple times.
Not
He's
as
just
much as
coming the whole
Tom
time.
Segura, but
Yeah, not like Tom. I'm going to send you something, Jamie. This is... you remember how Coleon Noir was on and he was talking about how the reason why the homeless situation never gets fixed is because so many people are working on the homeless situation and they spend hundreds of millions of dollars. LA spent... I thought there was no money. That's not the case. Hundreds of millions of dollars get spent on the homeless.
And thank you
but-
for your contribution to that.
But you know
rich
where
man.
it goes to? But you know where it goes to? It goes to the salaries of people working on the homeless.
Oh, wow.
So this someone posted all the salaries of all these people. Look at, they're all like six figures and more. Look at it. $254,000, $263,000, $198,000, $264,000. Like they make a shitload of money.
You would think it is a job you would want to pay people a lot because you want like great mind. This is
You want results.
This is a puzzle. Like this is a puzzle someone needs to solve.
But you want results. When you
Yeah.
get no results, you shouldn't get that much money.
Exactly. And there's too many people. There should be like a committee of 5 people that are experts.
You need a lot of people to deal with the homeless situation in LA. It's 100,000 homeless people. You have Boulder, Colorado in LA in homeless. Like take the entire population of Boulder and make it homeless and then put it in LA.
Boulder's
That's
so
what
the
it is.
opposite of that. Boulder's just these gorgeous, fit
Hikers.
hikers.
Yeah.
They're hot, but they're wearing those like toe shoes and like
Yeah.
Tevas, so you wouldn't bang them. But you're like, I understand.
They're taking like a yoga mat to the top of
They
a
got
cliff.
a yoga mat. They're wearing Joe
What is
Rogan
this?
fanny
this is
pack.
a story I heard on the LA news that they had they bought these things for the homeless shelter situation, and they were just hanging out near a Dodger Stadium unused until someone found them with like a drone one day.
You know
during the
what? That's
pandemic.
not going to fix anything either, man.
I want one of those.
But they spent a bunch of money on it.
Right,
and
but
then
here,
didn't do it.
so then you're going to get homeless people and they're going to live in these things
They're gonna make it so
however the way
nasty.
they want to. This guy's talking about. They're going to live however the way they want to in those
Yeah.
things. Up there, just doing drugs and lighting things on fire, and
And it's like nice living in LA. Like it's like the weather's beautiful.
pretty
It's-
nice. Well, that's why they like to go down to the beach. It's very, it's very maintained.
But
the ocean air comes off.
I think what
cools
they're
you
doing.
off on
I
a
know
hot
they
day.
have beachfront property.
They do.
They're putting decks on. I'm like, you guys, this is crazy. You guys are living a better life than me.
Venice is bananas.
But Venice is. I think they did something where you can't loiter or litter or something. So now the homeless people are like cleaning. It's like cleaner,
what the fuck?
or they
ever.
can arrest them. So
You
now they're
can't
doing something.
camp. How about that? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, and you
Like,
know what's
gotta
weird?
figure
You know
your
what I
life
noticed
out.
the other day? There's people that are not quite homeless yet. That's how you know it's like these are drug addicts. Like it's like people that are not. You see them like leaning into that life, or you're like, if they weren't allowed to camp, they would probably.
It's just
Get their shit together.
The whole thing is dumb. You can't allow
But you
people to
also have
just
homeless
camp
people-
on streets in the middle of nowhere. You just can't. You just can't. In the middle of your streets,
Yeah.
put tents up. You just can't allow that. They passed a ban on it here, and today is supposed to be the day that the second phase goes into effect.
I was gonna say because I can't allow my king to tell me there's no homeless people in his town.
No, there's homeless people. There's just not a lot.
Yes, there are.
No, there's 2,000. 2
Well,
to 3,000.
It's a small place. I
Yeah.
see them everywhere.
Well, there's a lot. I mean, in terms of like.
I'm telling you, I saw this
visually,
obese
but
homeless
not,
woman, bottomless, running across. I mean, the amount of vaginas I see in this goddamn business. But She was running across wearing a mask. I was like, I was promised no masks and no homeless people, and I'm getting a mixture of both.
Well, this is the most progressive, air quotes, city in Texas. So you get a lot of people that are still scared of the Rona.
Yeah.
They could double mask up when you go outside.
You know what I will say about the masks, though?
What?
I'm ready for them to be done, but on an airplane, I used to get sick all the time traveling. I might be one of the people that wears that mask because I judged the Asians back in the day for wearing the masks on the plane.
I don't know if that's what it is. I think you were traveling a lot less now, and I also think you're probably taking care of yourself a little bit better because you're worried about the Rona. Like most people now are starting to take vitamins, and most people are really aware of vitamin C, or vitamin D rather. They just did a study that showed that vitamin D deficiency is a bigger comorbidity factor than even being obese.
Now, the vitamin D you're talking about, is that the same you get from the sun?
It's better if you get it from the sun.
Yeah.
But you can supplement, and it's adequate.
Am I noticing a tan on you, or am I making that up?
I go outside. Crazy.
You do?
I go outside with my
Now,
dog.
last night when I was talking to you on the phone and you were yawning, is that because you had been in the sauna?
I was yawning on the phone?
You seemed tired, and I kept going. I did not read the room.
I don't know. I probably just yawned. You
Oh,
know?
really?
But yeah, but I was in the sauna
Because I saw the
last night.
sauna picture. Did I talk to you after the sauna?
I don't remember. I think so. I think I got out of the sauna when I called you.
Yeah.
I don't remember, though. I'm not sure. It's just that I do it every night. It's like a thing that I do. I just fucking... It's fine for until the last 10 minutes. The last 10 minutes when I write these sappy posts on Instagram, like I am almost dead.
I love
Like
when you're emotional rogie.
Well, I'm very introspective, and I feel very vulnerable when I come out of that place, and I feel like that's like it's a good thing to express because I think a lot of people feel vulnerable, and I think a lot of people also see people that are doing well and they think they're never vulnerable. Like I make myself vulnerable.
Yeah.
You know, I make myself vulnerable through workouts. I make myself vulnerable through jujitsu and sauna and all kind and stage creating comedy and all that shit too.
Yeah.
But everybody's vulnerable. It's important. It's important to express, and it helps people understand their own thing better.
Yeah. When you do jujitsu, you train with you're not in a class, right?
Sometimes,
Yeah.
But I've been doing a lot of privates because I'm trying to learn the leg lock game. I'm trying to, because when I was doing jiu-jitsu regularly, it wasn't, the leg lock revolution really happened about 5 years ago, and I missed it.
Yeah.
So I understand it in like a crude sense, but I don't understand it like I know the rest of jiu-jitsu. You know, like I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but I'm not a black belt in leg locks.
Yeah. We always did like a leg lock warm up every day in every class. But honestly, I'm like, do I want to go back?
Do you want to go back?
I don't know. I have to think about it.
Did you enjoy it?
I did very much enjoy it. It's fun
because
because it was
a
like
lot of girls, right? There was a lot of girls.
Yeah,
in
there were girls. I didn't feel like that was an issue, but it just was. It's dirty.
It is dirty. You
Nobody
can get
washes
sick.
their rash guards well. They're
really?
mildewy. Yeah.
Ew, they smell?
Yes.
That's the worst. When you're rolling with someone and they stink, it's rough.
And it's like I know it's not about that, so I'm trying to mind over matter. It's like again, I'm on Fear Factor. But it's just like, and this ball sweat and all of it, it's just a lot. And you get someone that's the most sweaty. I bet you're fucking sweaty as shit when you.
I sweat like crazy. Yeah.
I'm sweaty too. I mean,
but that's because I put in effort and I drink a lot of water. You know?
Yeah.
You're supposed to sweat.
I've been
it's just-
drinking mad fucking water.
Mad water? What is
Yes.
that?
It's a new type of water. Sponsored by Mad TV. No, just a lot of water. It's so good. It's. Oh, did
Cough
you
button.
pause?
I coughed.
It made it louder on
It's
mine.
like, no, it didn't.
I thought you were like, move it. I thought you were going to be like, move it along, bitch. Nobody wants to hear about your water
Watch.
intake.
Here, I'll do like that. See the difference? That's the cough button. We're like a regular
I don't like
radio
that you
show.
stupid bitch tone.
What's that?
I don't like that you stupid bitch tone.
What do you mean, you stupid bitch tone?
I didn't know I had this.
What are you saying? Your stupid bitch tone? You saying I had
You
a
were
tone
like,
with
this
you?
is a.
No, I'm like just explaining it to you. You're fucking sensitive for you. I'm wearing your shirt. You know I love you. Jesus Christ.
No, I know you love me.
I do.
I was telling Jamie I use your tumbler.
Oh, do you?
I drink my JRE
Out of your
tumbler all the
Yeti
time.
tumbler.
My Yeti.
Nice.
My Yetzo.
So you're back in doing shows.
I'm doing shows. I'm having the most
Go on
fun
the
on the
road.
road. I'm on the
Yeah.
road. You can check out my tour dates.
do you bring anybody with you, or do you go?
I'm trying to find the right person to bring with me because it's such a vibe, right? Like you need someone that's
Right.
like cool to hang out with that knows boundaries. Like if I don't want to hang out too much,
Right.
Because I found like the couple gigs that I've done, even though my openers are really nice, I can't handle that the questions, the energy is like something I'm not interested
Sometimes
in
it's
doing.
rough when you're trying to get ready for a show and they want to talk to you about stuff and
Yeah.
ask questions and you're writing notes and you're like, hey man.
Yeah, I don't want to be rude, and it's like I don't want to be one of those people that's like no one's allowed in the green room, but it's like no one's allowed in the green room. I can't unless I find the right person.
Well, the worst is when they bring friends. Like you have an opening act and they bring 3 friends in the green room and they start taking pictures. You're like, hey,
Yeah,
what are we doing here? This is work.
I know, and it's always at my feet. I'm like, those can't get out.
Oh, don't you pixelate them all?
I do. I've been pixelating
Quickly.
So I'm doing 2 like really incredible shows that I'm really excited about. I'm doing my main tour is going to start in the fall, but I'm doing like I have a bunch of shows. I'm going all over the place. So go to my website.
You trying to do like small places? You trying to?
I'm doing clubs, and then I'm doing like Caroline's, which was where I first started.
That was your first.
It wasn't my first spot, but it was my first weekend. I worked with Jim Norton. Was my first weekend working.
Oh, that's nice.
It was so fun. And I did their March Madness contest where I like waited in line like it was last comic standing, and I did 1 minute in front of Lewis, and I got passed on to the next round, and I got really far, and that was like very early in my career. And then they kept my stuff, and then Norton wanted to like have a female opener so it like balances his act. And so he picked me, and I opened for him, and then I went on the road with him for about a year or 2.
That's awesome.
And learned so much. But I'm going back to headline for the first time in August. I'm so excited.
That's your first time ever headlining in Caroline's?
Caroline's, yes.
Wow.
So it's like this weird full circle. I'm just having
That's
such a good time coming back. I'm going to all these different places. My thing will be coming out. I'm also doing a show for the Eagles. Not
Eagles,
the band.
the band?
No, not the band.
Philadelphia?
Where I'm from. So I'm going back to Philadelphia at the Lincoln Financial Field. I'm doing the stadium that they play in. Yeah, it's through the Eagles. It's for this charity called Laughter Heals.
How many people are going to be there?
I don't know. I mean,
that's like
get
50,000 people.
It's gonna be.
Shit,
it's gonna
right?
be so fun. But it's like a lot of Philly acts. It's gonna be Big
Are
J.
you going to say cunt in front of 50,000
Of
people?
course, I'll say cunt.
That's weird.
Eleanor Kerrigan's gonna be there, so she'll say cunt. Maybe if I'm
Eleanor.
bringing her up, I'll be like this cunt.
Yeah.
Steve Simone's gonna be on
Nice.
it. It's really
Nice.
Craig Shoemaker's putting it together, but it's gonna be so fun.
Wow. And so it's just
So-
an all comedy show, or it's
It's
other
an
things
all
too?
comedy show.
In a stadium? Jesus.
And it's all like it's a charity through the Eagles for kind
Wow.
of bringing back like the excitement of being back on the road and everything coming back. And
How long did you take off?
I
How
took
long-
off a lot of time, Joe. A lot.
Like how
I
many
really-
months was it before you went on stage again?
I did some shows in Whitney's backyard, which kind of got me back
I don't
into
think
it.
those count.
You don't think those count? No. Okay. I felt like they did because it really did feel. It was people I didn't know in the audience.
No, they definitely count.
Oh, it was
just
so
joking.
fun. I love my queen.
She's awesome.
I love her.
She's a wild lady. That lady never stops working. She's always grinding.
It's really unbelievable.
Yeah,
it's
there's
really
no end.
My boyfriend does clips for her, does like edit stuff for her, and so I see. I mean, this is a 24/7 job. This lady her brain is
Gone.
working.
It's always
Yeah.
like it's always fucking 50 different directions, 100 miles an hour.
And I can always count on her if I need advice, if I need help with something. She will always find time.
Well, she's crazy, but she's wise.
I love her.
She's very wise.
I love her.
She's got work. I mean, I love the hustle. I respect work ethic more than almost anything in this life. When someone just always out there grinding, not making any excuses, just always hustling. That's her. She's never like, this business doesn't care about me. I don't get the breaks I deserve. They want me to prove myself. There's none of that with her. With her, it's go, go,
And
go.
once you get rid of that shit, which is the stuff that I've like really worked on getting rid of over the pandemic,
so
you just
toxic.
fly. I'm just feeling so good. Like I feel like a ray of light. Like I just feel so good.
It's energy.
Yeah.
It's energy. Whether you look at it that way or not, like people love to make excuses for why they're not as successful as they think they are. But when you do that, and there's all these other people around you that are killing it, do you really think there's some fucking conspiracy against you? No, you're wasting energy. And that same kind of energy that you waste saying, what about me?
Yeah.
What about I didn't know
It's
all these
all
other
the
people.
energy you can be putting towards-
Exactly.
yes.
Exactly. It's a 100% energy waster. It's all it is.
Well,
it
it's-
doesn't do
yeah.
you any good.
Just the like waiting for Hollywood, like all the cancel culture shit, all that stuff is you expecting Hollywood to pick you or something. Do you know
Well,
what I
it's
mean?
just negative energy. It's negative energy for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's also when people see someone like you who's doing well and they'll attack you. The only reason they're doing that is out of jealousy. That's
Yeah.
it. That's it. Like if someone doesn't like you or like your act, who gives a shit?
It doesn't matter.
There's a lot of people that I don't like.
And
I
as
don't
long
fucking talk about it.
If I work on like loving myself, and guys, get ready. Can you
Do
do
you
like
love
a fake
yourself?
tear? I very much do, and I did not
Oh.
before. I didn't realize that.
When
you
did
know,
it start?
over this pandemic,
You
I
didn't
really
love yourself before the pandemic?
I mean, I liked myself, but I was really mad at myself. I was like being hard on myself.
For real?
Yeah.
In what way?
I
Like,
just
what was bothering you?
I think that I just had this subconscious belief that I was just bad. It was just from childhood. It's just like this message that I got as a kid that how I perceived how I was treated or something. And
Yeah.
I just clung to that. And I look at everything like the way I wasn't making money, the way I was like, I felt so like I needed things, you know, and it was because it was low self-esteem.
Well, here's what's important. That's most of us.
Yeah.
That's most of us. Even me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was me for a long time.
Yeah.
Most of us feel inadequate. And then when you become successful, a lot of us have imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
You know, when things start doing well, and even though you know you've worked hard,
Yeah.
and even though you know like, oh, that show went well, you feel like an imposter.
But I've really worked on not doing that anymore because I would have so much anxiety even performing. This is something I've done every single night, multiple times a night for 12 years. And I'm going to the show going like, I hope they like me or whatever. It's all
Right.
external validation instead of going like, I'm proud of my work. I love what I do. And I can't wait to get on that stage and do it. And it's
Yeah.
just changed everything. And being like, I'm here to like entertain these people. We're going to have this experience together. And it's been insane. I just sold out Brea. I'm just starting to sell shows
That's
out.
awesome.
Yeah, it's been really amazing.
Did you read books? Like, how
I've been
did you
taking
shift?
okay, so I've been listening to this podcast by this guy Jim Fortin, the Jim Fortin Show.
Fortin, like Norton, but
yeah,
with an
but
F?
with Fortin, yeah.
Okay.
And I signed up for a coaching course of his, and it's changed my life.
Really?
I've never
What
in
does he
my
do?
life. It's a 14-week course, and each week builds on the next week, and it just starts with subconscious reprogramming. So he used to be a hypnotist, and he works with a shaman. So it's like brain science and ancient with like spiritual wisdom, and it's just been like, I just can't believe it.
How'd you find out about him?
I randomly was listening to a podcast. I went to on this podcast, The Adult Chair. That's this really amazing woman, Michelle Chalfant, that I listened to, and then she had him on, and it led me to him. And it's like I really feel like the universe gave me this curriculum, and it's just like so cool. It's just what the program's just amazing. It's like no excuses. I'm 100% accountable for my life, 100% of the time. And now that I have that view, and I do meditations every night. I do, visualizations, and I'm reprogramming this subconscious thought of like, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough. And I'm approaching things. I mean, you can get it anywhere. These are all things I've heard before.
Right.
You know, I've gotten the advice from people. I've read a lot of self-help and stuff, but for some reason, the way he does it for me is like, at this very moment in my life, is exactly what I need.
Wow. So
Yeah.
just a big shift.
A huge shift. And I feel, money has just
Come your way?
come my way.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that.
Listen to
be
this. So
nice.
I was living in this, I mean, it's maybe a laughable amount to other people, but to me it's huge. But I was living in this apartment building when the pandemic hit that got bought by another company. And they started doing construction. They were like buying people out. For some reason, they didn't offer to buy me out. I just wasn't home the day they were knocking on doors. So I was living in a construction zone where they were doing construction around my apartment, bottom next to me. I'm just like in hell.
Right.
I got an ulcer. I just was like in so much stress.
Why didn't you call somebody, see if they'll buy you out?
I did, and they refused.
Really?
But I
They're
thought I
"Fuck
was
you,
like,
bitch. We
I was
bought
like,
everybody else out."
exactly. And I thought like, oh, I'll just wait it out. Eventually, they'll buy us out. And so I was waiting and waiting and waiting in this terrible environment, miserable, like really like suffering. And my boyfriend and I went to visit our families for the first time after the pandemic. And I just had this like loving, wonderful place. I was taking this new course. And one of the things that Jim talks about is like, do not be a victim of your circumstances. So my circumstances were bad. You know, my circumstances were that I was living in this shitty apartment, and I was like, I'm too, the past me would have been, I'm too broke to move. We came home and they had boarded up Like it was a Black Lives Matter rally, like boarded up the entire front of our building. There was just this little narrow hallway to go into it was insane. It's like, I can't live here. They took our laundry away. They moved our mailboxes outside so that homeless people could just take our mail.
Really?
And yeah, it was just so many crazy things because I think they were just trying to get us to leave, right? But I was in this like fight with them.
Was that legal?
I don't think it's legal, but I don't care because I got the fuck out of there. We were walking up and I said to my boyfriend, I go, this is the last month we live here. I don't give a shit how we do it. I open up my mailbox. There's a check from the IRS, or not a check from the IRS, a letter from the IRS. I start to go to my normal panic, like, oh fuck, I owe the IRS money. Instead, I like took a breath. I'm like, I'm paying money for this course. Let me use this course. I go, I'm not like, money is not a thing I'm scared of or whatever. I open it up. It's a check for $6,000 for a year that they forgot to pay me. So we moved out immediately, got a new lease in a beautiful place near the beach, and it was like done. And my life has been.
Do you think you made that happen with your mind?
I don't think I made that happen with my mind.
Do you think you
but
might have?
Maybe.
Do you think maybe?
Maybe.
Do you think Jim would tell you you made it with your mind?
I don't. I think maybe. Maybe he would say.
Female shaman mind.
With my girly shaman mind. Maybe. You know what I've been using too?
What?
Duncan told me this when he did a episode of my podcast, Me Inspiration, which I'm coming back with my solo podcast, rebranding it soon.
You're not going to call it Me Inspiration?
I think I'm just going to call it the Annie Lederman Show.
I like that better. Yeah.
And so subscribe to Annie Lederman YouTube because that will be coming soon. And
when are you going to start that?
I want to start it as soon as possible. Maybe when I go back.
Okay.
I got maybe in July.
Okay.
But I want to I have like ideas for my set. I have a whole vision of what I want to do. And
you're going to have a set in LA? Mm-hmm. Do you know where you're going to do it? Don't tell anybody because they'll fucking stalk you, but do you have a spot?
I had a spot I was looking at, but the room's too small, and I'm just open to looking at other studios. But I'm really excited. And what was I saying? Oh, Duncan came on my podcast. So if you guys do go to my YouTube, look up the Duncan episode. It's my favorite thing I've ever done.
He's
it was
the best.
Me and Duncan for like 2 hours. I cried. Like we were just in it. I just love him.
He's the best.
He is just this sweet ray of light. And
he brings things out in you. He's
just an angel. And I honestly feel like, when I look at him, when I look at you, those are the things that I love about you guys. That I'm like that's what I aspire to be, is someone that's like a light, I don't need to go up there and be mad at an audience, or there's no reason,
No, this is too much fun.
And it's so fun. But he said this thing to me on the podcast where he said, I don't remember the name of the guy whose theory it is, but it's the idea of pronoia. Did he mention that on your podcast? So it's instead of paranoia, where you're assuming that the universe is conspiring against you, you just assume they're conspiring for you. So that whenever anything happens, and that type of thought process has helped me. Because even if you think about it, if I'm thinking, okay, something horrible happened, oh no, what am I going to do? But if I look at it and I go, oh, this is a shift now, and now I'm moving on to something better, and then I'm looking for the positive and the good opportunities.
So you're looking at things with a healthier perspective,
and
that in turn leads to more success.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you're not wasting time doing that woe is me shit or being why her or why him, what about me?
Why they?
Yeah. Well,
gotta cover
non-binary. Gotta cover the non-binary folks. Yeah, that's a really good way to look at things. And everyone has their own challenges.
Yeah.
As much as you like to think that they don't, and you like to think that it's all, that's the thing about narcissists, right? They always want to think they're the only ones who are struggling. So they always want to talk about their struggles. But everybody struggles. We're all struggling. It's hard. Life's weird. And even if you're doing well, like financially, you probably have emotional struggles.
Yeah.
There's always things going on.
Well, nothing's there's no control in this world. So it's like,
if there is, it doesn't last. You're renting time here.
Yeah. But I feel I just feel really good. I had a really amazing time with my family this weekend. I posted a video I always surprise my nieces. I don't know if you've seen it on my Instagram.
No.
I'm always like popping out of boxes or something. But I hadn't seen them in a year and a half.
Oh.
So my brother and I made this video. Would you play it, Jamie? It's on my Instagram. You're going to die. Because you're going to laugh. There's some things I want to talk to you about what I did not think through. So when we did this, I was like, they hadn't seen me in so long. I was like, I'll wear my leopard print jacket to help that, like, so they know it's me ahead of time because they know me by it.
Right.
But look what happened instead.
Move it back to like where it goes.
She thought I was a fucking tiger. Look at her stance. Look how she's squared up.
But they're excited to see you.
Yeah,
once
they're
they
so
realize,
excited. You don't have to.
"Aw, that's
they
so
they then go
cute."
inside and see my family and
That's
stuff.
so
But
cute.
it's just so funny because they go, "We thought you were a tiger," and I didn't even
that's
think about
hilarious,
that.
'cause
They
your
were at
jacket-
soccer practice, and then they were in the fucking Jungle Book. Like,
Oh, dude, last night, okay? Last night on my security camera, there was a big black cat, like a 60, 70-pound fucking something
my
or another.
God.
Well, I don't know what it is. See, the thing about Texas is a real issue. There's more tigers in captivity in Texas than all of the wild of the world.
really, because
Yes.
of like rich
'Cause
people
assholes.
wanting. Yeah.
Just people just have a fucking fence. I want a tiger, and you could just have a tiger here
Yeah.
because of freedom. Freedom, America.
Yeah,
Like
I get it.
zebras. Like my wife saw a zebra once. She was driving down the road. She saw a fucking zebra. Zebras just get out, right? Like people have zebras and they just get out sometimes. Well, whatever this thing was, it's like
Can
a
you
black
ride a zebra?
panther. No, you cannot.
Are they short?
No, they're horse-sized. It's a fucking horse, a wild horse that cannot be tamed. No one has ever been able to tame a zebra. It's like trying to ride a wolf. Like, get the fuck out of here.
I relate. Maybe my spirit animal is a
Anyway,
zebra.
I'm in the middle of this.
Sorry.
Outside of my fucking house, there is a big black cat.
Yeah.
Like a black panther.
Wow.
I'm like as big as my dog. You know, my dog's like 80 pounds.
Yeah.
This thing is like that size.
Wow.
Probably like a little less than him, but it's a big fucking black cat. And you see its eyes on the security camera walking down. And then my neighbor who walks his fucking dog at night, his dog is like on death's door, right? It's like sweetheart of a
Yeah,
dog,
of
but
course.
and he's got a headlamp on.
The dog?
No, the neighbor.
This dog's like
Jesus, I'm
dragging
trying to
its
tell
legs.
a story and you're fucking up my flow. This
That
guy
has some punchlines, excuse me.
This guy is dragging his fucking dog, right?
Oh.
He, you know, the dog walks slow and he's kind of pulling him along on the leash. The cat runs towards them. I'm thinking I'm going to see a murder.
Were you a little excited? Be honest.
No, because I had found out about it after the fact. I
Oh,
know he was
okay.
okay. But it ran towards him and then decided last second to dart off into the woods. But like it heard the footsteps, turned the tail, and it just goes running towards him. Like it thought he was a fucking deer or something. But it was creepy. It was a big black cat.
Yeah. I'm like more concerned. How are these people able to walk their dog so close to my king's home? I don't like this.
Well, they live in the neighborhood. They're walking
They're
around.
rich.
But it's this fucking cat is wandering around in like a residential
That's
neighborhood.
crazy. And it's because
big.
it's from someone else's house.
I don't know what it is.
When I looked it up, I just typed in Black Panthers in Texas in the wild.
Yeah.
And what comes up is from not that long ago, it says the wildlife officials say they don't exist in Texas, and what you probably saw is a black hog or otter. And I'm like,
No,
that's
no.
Oh.
nope,
No.
not possible.
Listen,
I thought you
have
were
a
going to say
video.
it was
Yeah.
like a Black
Listen,
Panther rally.
I have a video.
Yeah.
It's a black cat. There's no doubt about it. No ifs, ands, or buts. I know what a hog looks like. They look totally different. A hog is a big-bodied thing with little tiny-ass legs.
I'm right
Let me see.
here. Okay, and I'm
Panthers
still
do not
wearing my
exist.
half shirts. I don't give a shit.
Black Panthers do not exist in Lone Star State. That's not true.
I don't like Lone Star. It sounds so sad.
It's not.
So it could have been
Scroll
private,
back
I
up.
guess.
Yeah, but that's my whole point.
Yeah, I
Go
know,
back up.
but that's
Listen, that's what it looked like. No fucking bullshit.
Those hot,
that is 100%.
beautiful, gorgeous eyes.
That is a hot
That is a
animal.
sexy animal.
If I was a girl, I'd want to get fucked by that.
Listen,
If I was
my
a girl
dad might
cat-
be upset, but
If I was a girl cat, see those things, Black Panthers. What they are is, it's the spots, but the spots are all over their whole body.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So what that is like a jaguar.
is their skin, if you shaved it, is their skin dark?
I don't believe so. I don't know though.
Hmm.
Might be. Show me like Google black jaguar spots.
well, there's this thing. that-
Jaguar undies. The mystery of the Texas Black Panther sighting solved.
This
What is
is
that?
the year before that. I don't know. I mean, I saw this too.
Jaguar undies, those sound hot. Do they come
So-
in thongs?
One of my security guys said he saw one in the woods. And I think he said he was walking his dog too, and he saw one in the woods, a Black Panther. He said it was just like
Damn.
that. And he was the one who spotted this thing on the camera. So they're fucking, listen, I have a video of it. It's
I believe you.
100% real. So those assholes from Texas Wildlife need to shut the fuck up. I got a video. This thing is a real cat.
They probably are saying there's none like just in the habitat, but it's
they don't
because
know
people
that.
are, yeah.
See, here's why they don't know that. Jaguars, in particular, have been spotted in the wild in Arizona. And they didn't think they used to exist in Arizona. They thought they were extirpated. Pull up jaguars in Arizona.
It's going to be the cars. There's a lot of retired people. I can't help it, Joe.
They're new cars. Jaguars, they still make them. They're not
What's
retired.
the car? Okay, when I make my big bucks coming up here, what's my car? What do you tell me?
I think you need a convertible. Look at you.
Really? I want a Tesla first.
See,
though.
these are Jaguars in
They're
Arizona.
So pretty.
Beautiful. Gorgeous animal. But
I want to just wear that jacket.
just get a fake one.
Of course. I would never get a real one.
Don't murder the Jaguar.
I would never.
So someone killed that one, the lower left-hand corner.
That's sad.
That was that they killed it in Mexico. And that was like a famous Jaguar.
Do you
It
know
was
that
one of the two
hunter?
remaining Jaguars in the U.S. It says two remaining Jaguars in the U.S., but I'm pretty sure they killed it in Go back.
Well, that's really sad.
See it in the left-hand corner, and right below related images. See known Jaguar shown out right there. Yeah, click on that one because that article it explains how they know it roamed southern Arizona in 2016, but they killed it in Mexico.
Interesting to wear a matching dress with the background.
Does she have a matching Jaguar dress? Let me
No,
see.
I'm just saying. No, she was wearing a blue.
Oh,
With the background was blue.
you're such a girl.
I can't help it. I tried not to be.
I do. Doesn't say. Anyway, I'm 90% sure they killed it in Mexico, but they live in Mexico. They
It
live
looks
in South.
Mexico-ish.
Yeah, it does.
Except look at those slides.
They live in. Does it say? Killed by a mountain lion hunter.
It's a rumor that it was.
Oh,
He heard someone trapped or killed one in Mexico. That's so.
in Sonora, Mexico. Yeah, that's what I heard too. But my point is that in South America, they're plentiful, right? They live in the jungle, like in the Amazon. They're very dangerous. Like they jack people all the time. They're big. It's a big animal.
What do they do to them?
They eat them.
Oh, they kill them?
They eat people. Yeah. Do you know when people do ayahuasca and they do it in the Amazon, they have all these images of jaguars. And there's jaguars and snakes are like a big part of the natural imagery.
Yeah,
And
I
they
did mine
think
in
that
Chicago. I was just thinking
think
deep dish pizzas and...
they think they're taking on the spirit of the jungle. And that this is like like all the things you're afraid of in the jungle and all the things that are in control in the wild and the powerful forces of the jungle. I don't know.
Are you going to do ayahuasca?
Yeah, I would definitely do it.
I did it. Yeah, I did it with a shaman that came here. I literally did it in San Diego and Chicago.
Jamie and I are planning on doing DMT together soon.
Can I do it with you?
When are you going back home? When are you leaving? Are you leaving today?
I am leaving today.
Oh.
Can I do it next time I come?
100%.
I really would love to do it with you. I did it.
Let's do it.
It's so funny. I was talking to Jamie about this guy we know that he would always be hitting the pen and he's like, I think I broke through. And I'm like, dude, that's like an O'Doul's. Like, you don't know what the shit, you wouldn't think you broke through.
Yeah, there's no.
It's not, you don't question whether you had
there's
this
no
experience.
questions.
But yeah,
Most
really.
people take little baby hits. That's the problem.
No, I was like, I did this whole ceremony. I took 3 cups. I was out for about 8 hours.
Did you see things?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I saw, well, it was right after Brody died. And it was, thank God I did it right then. Honestly, it was really helpful because I was really having this like moment of like hugging him and feeling like how sad he must have felt. And then I purged like a egg out of my mouth.
Whoa.
It was like an egg and then it got like pushed out and then a bird flew out of my mouth. And I think that was like my guilt about surrounding the Brody stuff, you know?
You had guilt about Brody?
I had just talked to him that Wednesday before he passed away, you know, and we had been talking about, he was like, my meds are weird, I'm just not feeling right. And I just didn't, you know, it's not an appropriate thought. Like, that's not my responsibility. I couldn't have stopped it. But I think I just was, you know, I was just feeling.
It's always that way. Whenever someone kills himself, it's always that horrible feeling where you could have done more.
Yeah. But it was really.
Brody, I remember Brody had talked to me about his meds years ago, and then he was okay. I remember there was one time where he got off his meds and he was acting really strange, and he would get like real angry on stage and everything. And then a few of his friends had reached out to me and said, "Hey, you know, don't engage with Brody. He's off his meds. We need to figure out a way to get him back on his meds." And then he got back on him. He was fine. And he was like, "I gotta dial him in.
Yeah. He was definitely having to manage a lot.
What was he on? Do you know?
I don't know. I think it was Lexapro, but I don't know. I don't want to say because I don't know for sure. But yeah, that was like it was an interesting time for me to do it. I did it with Curtis Nelson, our boy.
Where'd you guys go?
We went to it was
Chicago?
like this. No, the Chicago one I did without Curtis, but it was the same shaman. It was we went to this place outside of San Diego. It was in the desert. It was a really beautiful like yoga center, retreat center. And it was really amazing. I'm really glad I did it.
They need to open up centers in this country. They really do. There's so many people that have PTSD. There's so many people that are emotionally damaged that could be helped by this, especially if they did it with like real professionals.
Yeah, and they could regulate it with them. They
Yes.
could make sure they're not.
Make sure they give them the right dose for their body
Yeah.
weight. Make sure that they give them real stuff. Make sure they're in a protected environment with counselors, and so they don't have to worry about being.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, after, it would have been really cool if I was able to touch base with someone after my experience with ayahuasca, because I do think a lot of the things I learned are now kind of falling into place 2 years, 3 years later. But it would have been interesting to be able to like record all my thoughts right afterwards and my experience, and then have someone that was trained in there to kind of go over it and kind of touch base and integrate back in.
Is ayahuasca like DMT in that when you have the experience, like afterwards, it's so vivid, but it goes away quickly, like the memory of it. It's almost like your brain is trying to protect you from the memory of the experience.
I remember it. I do remember it. And I think that, what I really, and I remember Curtis being like, you should write everything down. And I'm like, I can't. I was like, so like just in this experience, I just had such a beautiful, hard, but gorgeous experience. It was like so disgusting and beautiful.
I always think when people say write things down, that's a good idea. A better idea is recording.
Yes,
Yeah.
I should have done that because
I
that
did a
would have been
recording of one of my DMT experiences.
Yeah, well, yeah,
And
it's when you just catapult out of the DMT thing. But I really, because it's extended over so many hours, and then the next day it was this whole weekend process. But it really, I do remember a lot. I dealt a lot with my fear of my own dad's death, and which he's not. My dad is still alive, but I was always kind of dealing with this inevitable future pain now, and I was bringing this negativity into my experiences with him, and I had a whole like eulogy for him, and I could feel his like body in my body. I'm always like, that's the only time it's okay for your dad to be inside you. But it was like I could feel, and I was like, he is me, so I'm never gonna lose that. Like we are each other. We're all the same tribe. So I really kind of got that feeling, and but it was great. It was really beautiful, and
The fear of loss, of potential loss, can be really crippling.
yeah,
It really fucks people up when you're worried about losing things. I was having a conversation with this comic, and in Austin, it was like the Austin scene right now is so amazing. He's like, I'm worried it's not gonna last, and I was like, but it's here right now.
right.
I'm like, what are you thinking like that for?
Yeah.
Yeah, but man, how long is this gonna last? I mean, it's so good. What if it goes away? I go, hey, what is this what if shit?
You know what that is though? That's living in the past, because that's you going back to an experience where the other shoe has dropped. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's
So then you're waiting
because
for it.
it's because he's coming up. He's on the way up, right? And so
Tony
he's not
Hinchcliffe. One day he's going to make it.
That's not who it was. He's on his way up, and he's not totally confident that this is. Sometimes when people have like a career path, and then they divert to try stand up, they always have this feeling like they have one foot on the other base. Like, well, I could always go back to being a lawyer, and they're like stretching, and they're like, but I want to be a comic.
Right.
And the saddest shit in the world is when they never commit, and then they never make it.
Well, I always look at that too. Like sometimes those people that have had success in another career they think they have a different type of entitlement. There's a lot of entitlement in comedy. I've suffered from it. I'm very guilty of it.
Entitlement how?
Well, just like you want something. You're not at a place yet, and you want it, and you go like, why don't I have this? Like what we were talking about earlier, when you're like, these people have this, why don't I have this? Like I've changed that because my path is going to be like no one else's. Your path is like no one else's. There's no like pre-written thing. This is like, this is an ocean job. I always say it's like they're getting sucked under, you're up on the wave. It's like moving all the time. You have no clue. We don't have these land jobs. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. And for you to think that you were supposed to have something means that there's a specific path that just doesn't exist. But anyway, so these people that have these jobs, that have success in them, then come into comedy, and it's almost like they want this rollover success. Like, because I was here or there, so then they have this like anxiety of not being like at that level that they were at this other thing. I've experienced it just with people coming up. And you know, it's like you gotta start over. And you got to just take the hits, but it's how you get good.
Well, you have to just look at what you're doing and improve upon what you're doing. And don't look at it like you have these expectations. The problem is, you know, when people have expectations, oftentimes they're either unrealistic or they're not grounded and centered in the reality of the circumstances you find yourself in, and you wanted things to be better. Like, people have like fucking vision boards. In 3 years, I'm going to be on Showtime. Like, listen, bitch, just fucking get better.
Yeah, in 3 years, if Showtime's around, good luck.
Showtime will be around.
I'm just kidding.
How dare you? You're still bitter about the Comedy Store documentary?
No, I love the Comedy Store doc.
Okay.
Could I have had a better, that episode with us was beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Very happy with it.
Yeah, the one on the rooftop. Yeah, it was great.
No, the rooftop one I didn't care for.
Too
but
edited.
It was very edited.
We had these long conversations. They took like these tiny little snippets of it. And I was like,
yeah, that was a long, fun, weird night on that rooftop.
it was fun.
I
got to get to know Paul Rodriguez. I never really hung out with him before.
Yeah, Paul was on fire.
And we found out that Paul had COVID.
Oh, really?
He didn't even know.
That day?
No, he had COVID. Sorry.
Oh, because he got the
we
antibodies.
we brought in tests. We brought in nurses to test everybody because they were worried about everybody being up on the roof together. And I'm like, well, just test everybody. And then Paul had the fucking antibodies, which is kind of crazy. He goes, yeah, I was sick. I didn't know. He goes, but it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
And, you know, Paul was like fucking hardcore partier for like 45 fucking years.
He's still sweaty. He's still up there with his hat all sweaty.
Yeah, he was a little sweaty, but Burr was up there with us and Jay Leno. It was a good time.
Imagine you're me on that rooftop.
Okay.
I mean, that was amazing. That was so fun. It was the first time I was meeting Jay Leno. Jay Leno was like, I love your stuff. I was like, what? Oh, this like just was that was really incredible.
That's wild.
And that the piece that they did on me on that same episode with you was so. I mean, I am really touched by it. I really was very, very.
It's validation, right?
It was lovely.
It's like you're on the path.
I was getting texts from like Louis. I was getting texts from all the. It was just like it just felt so good.
That's cool. That's very cool.
And it felt great. It was really nice.
Yeah, I felt like whenever there's things like that have like these conversations, to impose a time limit on that. That's the beautiful thing about podcasts, right? As opposed to like a regular television show where you have to. Has to be 44 minutes long or whatever it is. With Showtime, an hour, I guess. But it's you miss stuff. You have to kill some of it.
Yeah.
Because like it's all about context, right? Like these conversations that we had on the roof where we're going over road gigs and material, and Jay Leno was all into being clean, and
That was a very interesting debate. Like the world missed that.
Well,
did he keep it in? I didn't watch that episode.
No, he removed it. But Jay Leno is from a time where it mattered if you were clean or dirty, because if you were clean, you could get on television. If you were dirty, you could not, and you would have to work the road. So his mindset, because he was talking about financial success, which was the most bizarre conversation of all time, because he's sitting next to me, who's super fucking dirty. And I'm like, okay, I want to be nice because I love Jay Leno.
And he's rich.
I'm like, this is so crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you're right. I'm right here.
Yeah.
Like, this is such a dumb conversation.
But
like,
he maybe doesn't know what is going on with you. He might just not know because he's paying attention to TV.
He knows, because I know that him and Binder were talking about me selling out arenas.
Yeah.
And he didn't believe it. He's like, what? Because he's not on the internet.
Yeah,
he
doesn't know.
He's under the hood.
Yeah.
Fucking turning monkey wrenches and shit. I know he thinks things are going well, but I just don't think he understands.
Yeah.
It's like
think
he's
of how
from
much
a different
work
time. There was no arena sellers.
But think about how upsetting that would be if he really got that he had to do all of that stuff and you got to just be yourself. I mean, that's got to suck.
He's himself when he does the car show.
Mm-hmm.
Jay Leno is so good on that Jay Leno's Garage. He's fucking excellent at it. Coming from someone like me, who's a total gearhead, I fucking love cars, and he loves cars.
Yeah.
And I love doing that show with him. I never enjoyed doing late night talk shows.
Yeah.
Because I always felt like it was fun, But it's not fun like hanging out at the store.
Yeah.
It's not fun like hanging out with a friend. Doing Jay Leno's car show is fun.
Because
like
you're
hanging
doing
out with
something,
a
you have a
friend.
common interest, you're chatting.
He has it. He has it. He's so plugged in. When you're doing a car show with that guy, he loves it. So I was on his show with my 65 Corvette. So me and him are talking, and we're all like, like the engine and the shapes of the cars back then, and look at the interior and the manual shifter and all this stuff. And it's like we're totally on the same page and synced up, and he's 100% himself. Like who Jay Leno is off camera, that's how he is on camera when he's talking about cars. He just gets to be himself. But when he's doing the Tonight Show, he's got to be the host of a television show, and it's all buttoned down, and it's kind of stiff, and you're waiting for the next thing. And
I just feel like that would be so much pressure. I know, although I've known people that have written on those shows, and you see the life leave their eyes. They're just like,
the workload is insane. You have to write a whole new monologue every day. You barely get to test it. Jay used to go on, he used to do Comedy Magic Club in Hermosa every Sunday night, and he would run over like a week's worth of material. Like you'd have to practice it in front of the audience.
Yeah.
And so people would come to see it and then hope that they would see those jokes that week on the Tonight Show. But it's like that world is, people that don't understand the world of podcasts, it's a different world now. Like it's changed. It's like the difference between radio and TV.
Yeah.
And then there's TV and podcast. It's that much of a monumental shift.
Do you think Jay would come on and talk to you about it?
He has been on.
Oh, really?
He's been on. He was great. He
I
told a
love him.
fucking
I
story
honestly
about being
love
at a
him.
mob club.
Yes.
He told a story about doing a gig for a for a mobster. And the mobster screaming at a priest about having already, I gave you your fucking money, and like screaming at this like dangerous mobsters. He told some wild road stories. It was really fun.
Yeah, that was I didn't even know I was going to love him as much as I loved him. I mean, I've always been a fan, but it was really.
He's great.
Really
but he's
is
just
great.
from that weird world where they worry about clean or dirty. You
I know, he's
this
on the
world,
stage with
we don't.
Burr and everyone. I'm like, who are you talking to?
Burr's dirty too.
Yeah.
It's like it's so crazy. Like the most successful people here are dirty.
Yeah.
And Whitney's fucking dirty too, and she's right there too. But it's like, I mean, her fucking special is called "Can I Touch It?"
Yeah.
I mean,
but also he loved my piece in the Comedy Store documentary, and I did like a period fucking joke, like, you know what I mean? I'm like,
I just think in his mind that was his world when he was coming up, and in his world. He was correct.
Yeah.
Like his decisions led him to be much more financially successful. All that stuff that he has, like if you see Jay Leno's garage, he has like 11 garages filled with millions of dollars worth of cars. He bought all that with stand-up money. He never touched his Tonight Show money. Never touched it. All of it's in a bank.
does he have kids?
No.
No.
That's why he's got that much fucking time to
Yeah.
do that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But that was his world back then. His world was, you got to be clean. If you want to get on television, the only way to get famous is to be on television. Nowadays, that's not the world. The world is a different place.
I had a booker tell me once, I was really happy with my set too. It was like maybe like 5 years ago. I had just gotten into this stride where I was so happy with my set. And it was dirty, but I was just so happy with it. And this booker was like, you're great and everything, but you really you need to appeal to a Christian audience. And I was like, what?
Who said that? Don't say it.
I won't say. I'll tell you later.
Yeah.
You might not know him, honestly. And I forgive him for that, honestly, because I really did hold on to being so pissed at him about that. And I'm like, why did he's just trying to help me. It was just his idea of it was so off from what was true to me. And what I'm thinking about, even with this movie I'm writing with Bonnie, my agent, who I do really love, I finally have an agent I can't believe it. Ryan. But he was like, oh, I'm going to set you up with these people that are going to tell you what the different studios are looking for. I'm like, I don't give a shit what the studios are looking for. I'm going to make what I love. And then if they want to get on board, they want to get on board. But I'm no longer here to serve other people. I'm here to make what I love. And that's how I would like to serve other people,
Well, that's the best way to do it, because
Yeah.
if you do make what you love, it will resonate with
Yeah.
people. But if you don't, if you try to make what they love, maybe some people will like it, maybe some people won't,
Yeah.
but you won't like it.
right. And if I like it and everyone else hates it, I can take that hit.
Yeah.
Because I believe in it.
But it won't. If you like it, other people will like it.
Bonnie and I
Guaranteed.
are crying, laughing, writing this movie.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's going to work. It'll work.
Yeah, I'm just so
But there's
excited.
always going to be people giving you fucking terrible advice like
Yeah.
that. That's just always going to happen.
But also, it's such a weird, because the industry is changing. Nobody really knows, and the industry folk are really just trying to find their way in.
I got yelled at once by this really mediocre comedian when I was an open micer. He was the host of the open mic night, and he was so mediocre. He was just so, he was a local middle act that was like barely passable. He would get a couple of chuckles on stage. He was nobody's favorite comedian. He just wasn't that good. But when he would see comics doing well, he would give you all kinds of advice and tell you what you were doing wrong because he hated talent. It was really weird. Like you could see, like when there was sparks. So he told me to stop swearing.
Oh God.
He told me, try to make all those jokes work without swearing. And I was like, what are you talking about? I go, but isn't that how you talk normally? He goes, yeah, but this isn't normal. You're on stage.
I know. It's like,
I'm like, okay, you are fucking terrible
some people
at this.
do acts. Like some people are a character and they heighten themselves, and I'm totally cool with that. That's not what I do though. I've been spending my entire time while I'm doing comedy trying to be more myself on stage. That's just how I like to do it.
Yeah.
Not
That's how
to
you
say
should
that it's
do it.
wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but listen, there's nothing wrong with an act. But to tell someone that they have to do an act is stupid.
This tastes good.
It's pretty damn good, right?
Yeah.
Killcliff, pineapple jalapeno.
I'm drinking this shit, and so then I need this stuff to counter
Balance
it.
you out. Yeah, this has got vitamin B in it.
This
will
is
give
why
you a little
I'm. This
energy,
is
too.
why I'm about to shit myself on stage every day.
300 milligrams caffeine.
I'm always just like caffeine. Then
Yeah, but
relax.
this stuff is so delicious. These Black Rifle espressos, they're so
both
good.
so good.
Triple shot of espresso.
I'm not getting paid for this.
It says natural caffeine. Like anybody gives a fuck if it's natural, or I mean, isn't all just? It's all just molecules. Like
Dude,
what's natural? Well, it
all
comes
I
from the
know
ground,
is that
man.
I will naturally have hemorrhoids from this, but it's okay.
You get hemorrhoids from shitting.
If I drink, I could blast my ass out with coffee.
Why?
It's
Why
like
does
a
it give you
dehydration.
Drink water. Here, have some water.
Oh my God,
Listen
here we
to
are
that
back
thing.
again.
Have some water. What the fuck are you doing? I don't understand. I don't understand how. Don't do that. I have to drink out of that. You fucking selfish.
You think I'm dirty?
You might be.
You said I smell good.
You do smell good.
I'm selfish.
Well, it's a little weird to drink out of the pitcher.
I was
Put
doing
your
a bit.
slobbery
I
mouth
was
in
doing
there.
a bit.
Yeah, but you spit in there now. Now I'm gonna have Jeff bring out another pitcher.
Hey, bring on the pictures.
Dude, you can spit in my mouth. You're my
Catch your
friend.
picture. Oh, thank
I'm
you
just
so
kidding.
much.
You know I
And
love you.
COVID's over.
Yeah,
We get to spit
it's
each other's
over.
mouths again.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I wasn't
Yay.
single during COVID. Trying to fuck during
Oh,
COVID.
can you
All the
imagine?
kinky shit you can't even like.
Well, some people they put masks on and fucked.
Really?
Yeah,
I have a
Tubes.
joke where I've started using condoms over the pandemic.
yeah.
Call them dick masks. But I'm like, these are crazy. But there's a punchline, but you have to come see me to go to
Yeah.
AnnieLederman.com to see my
Wah, wah.
tour.
Have you seen the helmets that we have out there?
Are they penis helmets?
No.
Oh, yes, the ones with the, yeah.
Reggie Watts
Yeah.
sent me that.
Oh, those are Reggie. I was wondering. I was like, is this
Well,
Duncan?
he told we
or
ordered it,
Red
but
Band?
Reggie told us about it. He was going to travel with them in the early days of the pandemic.
So funny. How does the hair fit
I
him?
fucking love that dude.
Oh, he's amazing.
He's
a
so-
true artist. He's so sweet.
He's such a true artist, but he's also so smart.
Mm-hmm.
He knows so many things. Like, just talk to him about, he's a gearhead too.
Mm-hmm.
And so we start talking about cars, and he takes it like many levels past me
Mm-hmm.
into like suspension geometry and the way they use their torque vectoring system to
I
like,
can't even
apply
imagine him in a
pressure
car.
to-
I can only imagine him in like one of those giant, like the wheel. What are those called?
Hamster wheels?
No, you know those like bikes that have like a little wheel.
Oh no, he
They have a
loves
giant
cars. He rented a Ferrari when he was here.
Really?
Yeah, he showed
Oh, I
up
gotta
with a
do that.
Ferrari. You should.
Next time I'm renting a
Let
good
everybody know you're a boss bitch.
Yes.
That's what your license plate should say.
boss bitch.
That's
Oh my
probably
God.
what you're
I don't
taking.
want people to know. You know, Tony had his eye roast
Yeah.
thing.
You don't like that?
I don't want people to know it's me.
Mm.
I want, right? Don't you want
wanna
like
tint your
anonymity?
windows?
But I do. I also want a Tesla that's like leopard print, but I
That's
don't
what I
want
was
people
just
to know
gonna
who I am.
say. You need a leopard print.
I need a leopard print Tesla.
You need a leopard print something. What's
Did you
up?
see Kim Kardashian's car? She had like
No.
in fur. It was
I don't
the
want fur,
whole
that's
thing was redone in
nasty.
like white.
No, but I
fur.
do want to say this. There was an article in Time Magazine yesterday that I saw on Twitter where they were calling out Kim Kardashian for blackfishing and appropriating black culture
They gotta
because
stop.
she had braids on. That's all she was doing. Yeah, with those.
You know where
moves.
I stand.
But anyway, the comments in the Time Magazine post were 100% against Time Magazine for saying that.
Oh, really?
They're like, cut the fucking shit. All she did is have braids.
They got to stop. And this is also white people writing these things, like to
Yes.
try to rile up a thing so they can sell
Exactly.
more stuff. It's like,
just
come on,
clickbait.
stop.
But it's just trying to get people outraged for no
Yeah.
fucking reason. It's such a strange time when it comes to that stuff. There's so much of that going on right now.
I know, but I think it's going to come to an. I'm just not engaging.
Well,
I'm
there's
not.
just so many people that's their thing. Their
Yeah.
thing is calling people out. I mean, there's so many weaselly, non-talented little fucks.
I know.
And that's what they do.
But
They
you
just try
know-
to find people that they can call out and exaggerate things
Yeah.
and distort things. And
If they're not comics, I don't care as much. You know, when comics do it, it's like, come on, guys.
no good comics do that. Every comic that does that sucks. All of them. They all suck.
Yeah.
The reason why they do it is because they suck.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they would be concentrating on themselves.
Yeah.
Or if they don't suck, they're definitely not at their full potential. If they were at their full potential, they wouldn't even think like that.
Yeah.
The
I
reason-
just tap out of it. I'm not.
Good for you. The people that concentrate on other people like that, they almost always suck. That's just a fact.
I've gotten off of Twitter. I just go on Twitter to like, I post a few things here and there, but I don't ever read it and stuff. My twin
I gotta
brother's
look
always
for
on
news.
Twitter, and he seems to love it. He works at NBC Sports in Boston, so he does like the Celtics.
It's good for sports.
Stuff.
It's good
Yeah.
for news.
So he likes it, but I just don't. I mean, the most I hear about Twitter is from him, pretty much.
It's a terrible way for human beings to communicate, and they're communicating in text with no context, right? It's just like this little thing, and then other people communicating in text. You're not seeing the person, you're not looking at them, you're not having a conversation. It's just this abbreviated blurb. And this guy, Alan Levinovitz, who was a guest on my podcast in the past, had a great statement about that. He says it's processed information, the same way processed food is bad for you, processed information is bad for
Yeah.
you. And if you think about all these really unhealthy people that are eating processed food, because your body's like, ugh, what is this? That's the same thing with these people's minds that are just digesting processed information all the time.
Yeah.
You're not getting a real nuanced, balanced perspective. And one of the fucking best things about podcasts is you have conversations with people, like one-to-one conversations where most people don't get those anymore.
You know what I've noticed though about when you get under fire for things, they never print the next day if you say something else. Do you know what I mean? Like they'll catch like a segment of what you say, they run with it, and then if you're like, oh, I didn't even think of that part when I was saying that, they won't.
It doesn't matter because
that.
they're not the people that know me,
Yeah.
right? The podcast is huge, right? So the millions of people that listen, they heard the whole thing.
Yeah.
They get it.
Yeah,
and then
you're right.
the clickbaity people, all it ever does, and this is what's fucked, it makes the podcast bigger.
Yeah.
Because every time one of those clickbaity things happens, my numbers go up.
Yeah, and you're right. It's not people that like already. You're not losing anyone that you already have. You're just not. It's the people that already didn't like you.
But if you had a television show, that would work. So if they wanted to cancel you and you had a television show and they could take something out of context and get you canceled, it would work because people wouldn't know,
Yeah.
right? Because they wouldn't. It's not like you have these opportunities to express yourself in these long form podcasts. But because I do, it doesn't work,
Yeah.
right? But it would work if I didn't. Like if
Because they could take something from
yes,
you. Yeah.
well, they could take something out of context and they could change who you are based. Like if I've done 1,667 regular podcasts, and then on top of that, there's been like I don't know how many fight companions and MMA podcasts. It's a lot of talking. You could go through it and find stupid shit I've said,
Right.
but it doesn't mean that's who I am.
Right.
Who you are is who you are all the time.
Right.
It's like we are a weird, nuanced creature that has a lot of conflicting ideas.
Yeah.
And if you take things out of context and with the doing it to try to get the least charitable interpretation of who that person is, you're doing that in bad faith. And you do it enough times, people figure it out and they get it.
Yeah, and I also feel like on Twitter and stuff, whenever, if you've noticed the pattern, it's like people who cancel get canceled. Everyone
yeah.
that points a finger, immediately they find some other thing they
Because
said.
people start looking at you.
Immediately.
Yeah, they start looking at you and you go, what have you done? Oh, look at the N-word in your tweet.
Yeah.
Look at this.
I know, it's like you're like, I cannot believe you came after that person with that stuff you said.
Well, that guy that went after Tony.
And he had, yeah.
Oh my God, he's got his
Jewish
whole
slurs
so
and
much,
stuff.
so much shit. But that was the thing when Tony put up his whole act. Like his whole act was racial. Like that's literally his whole act. So when Tony was going on and saying that after him, in context, especially since the guy opened for Tony, the guy was on Kill Tony. Even that was a thing in his resume that he was on Kill Tony.
I know, that's
and
so
they
weird to
opened
have
up
it
for
in
Tony
your
on the road. He
bio.
just took a chance because this is what people think they can do today, and it almost worked.
Right. But
Until people saw the whole set. And some people don't care. They still think fuck Tony, even though I saw the whole set.
Yeah.
But that is what they do to each other.
And that's their choice, like whatever people want. I mean, it's like we can't control it.
Did you see what Lewis and Ari did?
Oh yeah.
Hilarious. They literally made their version of it afterwards
Yeah.
when Lewis called Ari a dirty kike.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like that's what. Listen, this is what comics do, especially roast comics.
Yeah.
They say things that are shocking that the audience knows they don't mean.
Right.
That's why it's funny. The audience, first of all, the other thing you see about Tony's video is he fucking killed.
Right.
The reason why he killed is because everyone there knew he was fucking around at
Yeah.
first, and then he's got a smile on his face, and it's just, if you know Tony, this is the kind of comedy he does. And for him to do that after that guy is just, he's being a dick in jest.
Yeah.
He's not really a dick.
I know, and then you cut it down, you caption it and everything. And I don't want to that guy did his thing. He did his thing.
But he's fucked now.
He did his thing. But it's like then you're putting it in you're taking it out of context, and now you actually are hurting people, right? Like there are people watching it that are going like, he
Yes.
said that, and now it's like, what is the point of
Well,
this?
he shouldn't
now
have
more
said
people
that.
are hurt.
He shouldn't have said
I don't
that.
think he should have either.
But it's a cheat.
But he was
when you're
joking.
on stage, you take a chance.
Yeah.
And he definitely didn't think it was going to get out of that room.
Yeah, but then
It's
it's
like-
sad. It's like, so then all these people are, like my boyfriend's mom is Asian. She probably would have been so hurt. She's not on
Yes.
Twitter.
Right.
And then that sucks. You just hurt, like now, but,
Well, Tony's longest relationship that he ever had was with a Chinese girl.
yeah.
I mean, he's not racist. He's just trying to be funny, and
Yeah.
sometimes you miss.
Yeah.
Patrice had the best line about that, and he said that whether something kills or whether something bombs and offends everybody, it all comes from the same place. You're
Right.
just trying to be funny.
Right.
And you understand it, and I understand it because this is what we do. We take swings. And sometimes, like, you're about to say something, you're like, I don't even know what I should say, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Yeah.
And you're like, yikes,
Yeah,
that didn't
whoops.
work.
As it's like rolling out, like, oh no.
Yeah, but it's not like a carefully crafted statement
Right.
that definitely represents all of your feelings on the subject. It's just talking shit.
Yeah.
And that's what bits are until they're formulated. That's the other dirty thing. That's when I got really upset at people that were going after Louis when that leaked set came out.
Oh yeah, it's a leaked set.
Not only is it a
It's a
leaked
leaked
set. It's
set.
not just a leaked set. It's a leaked set when the guy hadn't done stand-up for almost a fucking year.
100%.
And he was clearly working something out.
100%.
And if you just left it alone, that bit probably would have been
Would've been
monster.
amazing.
It would have been monster. So when people were looking at it and go, oh, that's offensive. He made fun of the people survived Parkland. Yeah, he did. But if you left him alone for 4 or 5 months, he probably would have made it
Yeah.
work. He would have found a way to make it work. And this is the thing that happens with really controversial bits. You start off with this idea and you bring it on stage and someone will be like, oh, you shouldn't have said that word. Or, oh, you shouldn't have said this word. And you're like, okay, how do I make it so that it reaches the
doesn't-
most
yes.
amount of people and doesn't piss people off,
Right.
but gets my point across? Or how do maybe I can say that, but I have to say something else first. Like it's all about crafting it so it enters into your mind the best way. It's
Yeah.
almost like foreplay or something. It's like you're trying to get in there with the least amount of resistance and the most amount of impact, right? Does that make sense?
Sometimes you need a little lube too, though.
oh, maybe someone's getting old.
I was thinking anally, and I don't know why I was thinking
Whoa.
of 2 men in this.
Jesus, 2 guys, both holes.
No, I'm not there.
Or 1 hole.
I'm not there. I'm a voyeur.
Oh, you're watching.
It's me
2
watching
guys
gay
fucking
porn.
each other.
Yeah,
Oh.
missionary.
Whoa, that's a rough one.
It's a weird one, but their
Gotta
legs
get
are flexible. Yeah.
Some guys are.
I used to watch Queer as Folk. I used to love that show, and they'd always be.
That's a
Pushing
fucking
the legs
show
up.
that I forgot about.
It was good.
That was a good show. That was like the first gay show.
Yeah, that was
Right?
good. The L Word. You know what I've been thinking about? You know how Ellen got canceled, or everyone was going after her.
Yeah.
It's so weird, and I've heard stories about her. I'm sure she's terrible to people, whatever, all that stuff. But then I also think, do you remember that she was the first fucking lesbian to come out on TV?
Oh,
and she
yeah.
was monumental. And not only that, but she's like had that show where she got like, she's just this butch lesbian dancing into the lives of these straight women.
Well, I feel like when you look at what happened to her when she had her sitcom, right? So she had her sitcom, she came out, and then basically
And
her
then they
sitcom went
canceled
away.
her, yeah.
And it went away because she came out. It was a very successful show.
Mm-hmm.
It was doing really well. And it went away because at the time, people weren't willing to accept
Yeah.
it. And when you've experienced that, and you've also experienced what it must be like to be a gay woman and to try to get some
Right.
traction in Hollywood, you probably build up a lot of resentment
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of anger. And one of the things that definitely happens to, I've seen it on sitcoms where someone's the star of a sitcom, right? And they, all their life, they wanted to be the boss. and all their life they get shut down. They go on auditions. Fuck you. Go home. You're not gonna make it. You know, we didn't book you. We canceled you. Someone else is coming in. This and all that stuff happened. Then finally they get something. They have all this built-up resentment.
Yeah.
And then once they have everybody kissing their ass,
Then
they
they're
lean
like,
into it.
yeah.
They lean into it. Like I remember, there's Brett Butler. Do you remember her?
Yeah, everyone tells me I look like her.
You're much prettier and funnier.
But we both were drunks.
She was on Grace Under Fire, right? She had that sitcom.
Yeah,
and
she was funny as fuck. Her
but
stand-up was really good
she
too.
had a thing, and she blew up at that Chuck Lorre guy, the guy who is the Mad
Creator,
About
yeah.
the 2.5 Men guy.
Yeah.
The guy's done everything, right? He's like the biggest sitcom producer /
Yeah.
writer guy in the history of the business. And I think it was that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
Roseanne told me she had that kind of thing too. She goes, you know, when she was on the podcast talking about it, she's like, I lost my fucking mind. She's
Yeah.
like,
I know some people are triggered. People are not well. Things are going crazy.
But it's also being in that position is
Yeah.
nuts. Being in the position where you are, like, imagine showing up on the set and you got like a fucking 150 people that depend on you, and you walk in, Roseanne, can I get you anything? Can I get you a
Yeah.
bagel? Can I get you coffee? Can I get
Yeah.
you this? Can I get you that? And you're on meds. And you're like,
Yeah.
"Ah."
And you're like, I thought she was white.
Yeah, and you're fucking Tom Arnold. Like, there's a lot going on. A lot of confusing shit. And she did think that lady was white, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, the lady looks white as
That
fuck.
clip was so funny when she
Yeah.
was that on your show?
Yeah, she goes, I thought that bitch was white. I'm like, whoa. She goes, I thought she was Jewish. That's what she thought. Yeah. It's
And Roseanne's all into the Kabbalah too, so she likes Judaism.
well, she's a Jew. But Roseanne is also one of the greatest stand-up comics that's
Yeah.
ever lived. If you go back and watch Roseanne's early days, and that was not only that, like the big thing with Roseanne, when she was getting canceled, and I reached out immediately because I'm like, you fucking people have no idea that this lady got hit by a car when she was 15. She had severe brain damage.
She had to go on Oprah and apologize for accusing her parents of like molestation or something because she got false
memories.
memories.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
She's
Listen.
been through trouble.
She was in a mental institute for 9 months at 15 years old after getting hit by a car. She used to be excellent at math. She got hit by a car. She couldn't even count anymore.
Wow.
Like do you know the whole story? Some lady couldn't see because the sun was on her windshield. She had a dirty windshield, and she drove right into an intersection and hit Roseanne and sent her
I
flying.
gotta wash my car.
She was 15 years old.
Damn.
And that changed her whole fucking life. And from that moment on, she's been mentally ill. She's all fucked up. She's on all
Yeah.
kinds of pills and stuff. But she's a sweet lady. But she's just tormented. She's got demons in there just bouncing around inside of her head. And she's insanely impulsive.
Yeah.
You know, you remember when she did the national anthem and grabbed her pussy
Yeah.
and spit in the ground? Everybody went crazy. They were so mad at her.
She was screaming.
Yeah, she's nuts, but she's also brilliant. Like her comedy is fucking amazing. And you know, they canceled her off that show. They killed her off, and then the show was never good.
It also was a show that was showing both sides. It was like something that was
Yes.
really cool.
Well, that was another part of the problem with the show was that she was a Trump supporter for who knows what reason. I mean, she might think he's communicating to her through winking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's like you gotta. But on the show in the first season, it fucking worked. And all those premises and all the different things, like she wrote all that stuff. She was explaining to me how they started phasing her out of the writing. They didn't want her to write anymore. And she's like, what? Like, what do you do? Like, this is my show. Like, they're like, you don't have to come to the writing room. Like, I don't have to come to the writing room. Like, what? And then all that shit happened, and then they just killed her off. Is that show still on the air?
The Connors, I think it is.
Is it? How many shows are on the air? There's a lot of shows.
I don't know. I only watch reality
Good
TV.
Christ.
Jamie knows. I watched The Challenge. This is an MTV show that's been going on. It was like Real World Road Rules, and then they put all of these crazy heightened reality stars together, and they have to do some like eating nasty stuff. They have to do all these different physical challenges, but it's really hard. Jamie and I were talking about it at the Creek in the Cave that night that I saw you, and people were coming up to try to talk to us. Like Tony came up, he's like, you know what I got to tell you? And I go, Tony, do you watch The Challenge? He goes, no. And I go, I'm going to need you to remove yourself from this conversation. When you find a kindred person, I mean, how many years has The Challenge been on?
The 36 seasons.
It's like, we're just, it's like Survivor.
Wait, what?
Yeah. And I've seen all of them.
That's how I felt. Survivor and The Challenge. I've rewatched all of them over the pandemic.
How am I just hearing about this? You never told me about this once.
It's something I don't like to talk about. It's like that secret
He's
show I watched by
embarrassed.
myself.
I was like, no, listen. And also, Jamie, you told him not to watch the movie Midsummer, and
It's fine.
I need you to watch the movie Midsummer and talk to you about it.
You told me to not watch the movie.
We talked
Midsummer?
about it before. I was like,
Which one was
it's
that?
fine. It's like a sex cult horror movie.
It's the best
thing.
representation of a bad mushroom trip I've ever seen in my life. Like they have the stuff moving and stuff. It's a horror movie. I mean, it is horrible. I mean,
Yeah.
but it's so good. And the reason I brought it up is you were talking about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, how they had that violent scene at the end. You don't see that anymore. There's
Yeah.
some violent, fucked up shit in this movie.
Well, the violent scene in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, what's crazy about it, it's a star doing horrible violence to a woman. And you're like, whoa, like this is shocking. Obviously, a cult murderer woman, a bad woman, but it's like Tarantino can get away with shit that no one can get away
A
with.
lot of foot stuff.
He's into feet.
I always want to know. I've been asking on stage. I'm like, are you guys at one of these or one of these? Which way do you? Where
does
do you
that
put
mean?
it? Like, do you go through the toe?
Oh,
or
do you
go
fuck the
between?
toes? Does
Like,
guys
what?
fuck the toes?
I
or
don't
they
know.
fuck the
I'm just
feet?
trying to learn about it. I'm trying to be curious.
Some
instead
guys
of
are into foot
shaming.
jobs, right? Where
Yeah.
the girl like rubs her feet. That's got to be exhausting on your hamstrings and calves.
But maybe good for you. You got to work on that core. If
I
you're
bet it
using
would-
your core, you're fine.
I bet it'd be really good. If you're lying on your back and you got your feet up in the air.
Dude, this is like Pilates.
and you're doing this, like this
You
is
do the
hard
like
to do.
100 or whatever from Pilates.
If you're jerking off a guy like this, that's a lot of work.
But sometimes your jaw hurts. I got TMJ.
I get it. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, you got to take a break.
I
I
understand.
got my hands are getting dry. You know.
Right. Yeah, I get it. and you need to do some core work.
I'm in the gym all the time.
Yeah,
Getting
like
ready for
in
these
that
hands-
position,
these
if you're
toe
lying
jumps.
on your back with your knees up like that and you're going back and forth, that's a serious ab
You know what
workout.
you could do too? You could put some bars on the ceiling.
Oh shit.
Okay, get a full body,
Yeah.
and you're just kind of going up and down.
That's really hard to do though. You can only hang for so long.
Listen, I think anything's possible.
Yeah, anything's possible if you set your mind to it. You know, I mean, I've seen some people do. That's the thing about Instagram is like a lot of those fitness influencers. You see people doing stuff. You're like, I didn't even know you could fucking
Yeah,
do that.
it's so crazy.
Like there's so many people now that start off with dumbbells on the ground with doing a dip where they lift their leg off the
yeah.
ground and then they pull it all the way up and then go into a handstand. And you're like, how many fucking people can do that? That's
I'm just working on push-ups. You know, I can do a pull-up. I'd like to do pull-ups. Is
can
my
do
new
a
thing.
pull-up?
Yeah.
well, you know what you should do? You should get one of those rubber bands. Do you know those?
Oh,
like,
yeah,
heavy
how you
bands?
can kinda-
give
yeah.
you like a little lift.
Because I used to rock climb back in the day, and I used to go to the gym, and the gym had a pull-up machine, and they would take the weight off you.
Right. Yeah. one
And
of
so
those
that
things.
was really helpful
Life
for that,
cycle. I
yeah.
think it's called lifestyle fitness.
Maybe I'll
Yeah.
start rock climbing again. Whitney's boyfriend rock climbs. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
with him. But he's really good. You don't want to go with people that are too good.
Well, he could probably show you what
yeah.
to do.
But their problems are just going to be they'll be doing like V6s or something. I'm doing like
What's a V6?
it's like goes V0 to I think it can go. I don't know how high it goes, but
Oh, like
that's the level of difficulty of the problems. Yeah,
Oh,
for bouldering.
yeah. I've had
So
quite a
fun.
few rock climbers on the show, and it's just like the people that like Alex Honnold, the people that do
yeah.
that shit. It's like Jesus Christ.
I remember the guy I was dating when we were watching that. He was like couldn't sleep. He was like, it's too much anxiety. I'm like, why'd you watch that before bed?
It's hard. I can't even look at pictures of him. I watched an incredible documentary last night, by the way. I was going to bring this up to you. It's called the Anthropocene. How do you say that word? We're in the era, the epoch, the era, whatever it is, of human beings affecting the earth in a radical way. And there's a documentary that highlights it with these incredible visuals. And I watched it last night before I went to bed, and it really kind of freaked me out. That's it. Anthropocene, the human epoch, and it's incredible. It's one of the most visually stunning movies I've ever seen in my life. It's just so wild. When
Where
it
is that
shows,
picture?
Well, it takes place in a shitload of different places. There's I don't know where that mine is, but there's so many mines that it takes place in Russia and in Germany and in China and in Nigeria. There's a church in Nigeria in this movie that seats 1 million people. Yes.
Super spreader.
Dude, you cannot believe what this church looks like.
And the point of bringing it up was that the church was having a negative impact on the land.
No, it's just
because
the massive amount of people in this area and how it went from having 200,000 people in this area to 20 million in 2 generations. And the impact that it's having on the environment is just staggering. Just mountains of trash. And they show these people in, I think it was Kenya, that were navigating these giant hills of trash. And they showed all these people working in mines, like digging into the ground and coming out with all this material and shit, and how it's getting into the rivers and it's fucking crazy because they shot a lot of it with drones, so you get this visual of the actual scope of it all and the scale of it all as they fly over these enormous treatment plants and these enormous oil refineries in Houston and all these different things. You're like, holy fuck. Like, you get to see like all the crazy shit that people are doing to the earth.
take action?
Well, I don't know what kind of action you could take, quite honestly.
Do you think getting a Tesla is the move?
Well, not necessarily. Here's the thing about a Tesla. Teslas are awesome, and I love them. And if I had one car that I could only drive ever, I think it'd be a Tesla.
Which one?
The Tesla that I have. I have the Model S. It's fucking incredible. But what's incredible about it is the technology and the performance. And
it's like an iPhone, right? Like it updates too?
It does update, yeah. But it's just, they're so fast and they're so comfortable and smooth. But they're also made out of batteries. Like, where are you getting the batteries? You're getting them out of the fucking ground.
Right.
You're tearing them out of the ground. And these strip mines and these Russian dudes that are drilling into the earth and creating these, these huge tunnels. Like this is the Kenya.
So scary.
Yeah, that's in Kenya where they have these mountains of garbage. I'm telling you, this film is amazing. I wish I was
did the
high.
population
I watched
grow?
it sober.
No, you don't think you would have gotten paranoid?
I don't mind if I get paranoid.
I stopped smoking weed recently, but I might start again. I always quit smoking weed. No, I don't want to. You can smoke.
Okay.
I don't feel it. It feels like it's like my friend. Do you know Deborah DiGiovanni?
I don't believe
she is fucking hilarious. I'll send you some of her stuff. She's so funny. She's Canadian. She did not put a kazoo in her puss, but she was telling me because she had quit smoking weed. She was like, it felt like when she looks back on it, she felt like she was like trudging through mud, and she just felt like she like got ankle weights off. And I was like, I do feel like that. I do sometimes. I'm okay with weed, but I do sometimes feel like that. But I also, I know
it's how you use it, right? I use it I use it to write. I use it to like put myself in a different mindset. But I go long periods of time without it. I can go weeks without it.
I think that's once I can get over the sort of, because I think I was smoking it like addictively. Like I was like, oh, I want a thing.
Yeah.
Rather than it's time to smoke weed. But I definitely, it's funny, like using the stuff I learned through Jim Fortin, I don't get paranoid anymore. Like I know how to not get paranoid.
Well, that's good. This is a definite paranoia-inducing movie, but not paranoid. Put some more visuals up there. Let it play out a little bit. I wouldn't say paranoia as much as it's just realization of the scope. Yeah, go full screen with this because it's fucking bananas. The scope of the impact of human beings on the earth when you look at it the way they're showing it.
Right.
And the real beauty of it, see how it's all so much drone footage? And they really did an amazing job with the cinematography and the direction, the editing. It's an incredible documentary. I mean, it really is incredible.
Now, the place that you said the population grew that much, now, is that because of...
I don't know. It's
why.
probably industry. I mean, I'm sure they do know why, but I don't know why. If they show, that's when they were burning all the poached elephant tusks.
Oh my God, those are elephant tusks?
Millions and millions of dollars worth of elephant tusks. Yeah. They showed that, these people that are trying to fight off poachers, but to me the wildest thing was the drone footage. When you see it from the sky and you get to see the scale of some of the things they've done. There's this farm. They were in Germany and they were knocking down people's houses and knocking down these old churches to make more room for strip mining. And you see it you see them knock down this old church, and then you see as they go up into the sky, you see how much land they've destroyed and how it just keeps pushing deeper and deeper and deeper by creating this strip mining. But they're like, whatever used to be there is now dead and devastated, and they've like they peeled the skin back on an orange, and you just had the flesh underneath.
And where
it,
did the people
and
go?
They fucking have to move out. They're buying people out, and there's a lady in it that was showing how she was like the last house on this street, and then they're pointing to this house. This is the last one down the road. They just bought it, and they were tearing it down. But they tore down this old fucking church, and these people had apparently locked arms over the church, and they were trying to stop them from doing it. And they're like, "Fuck you, tearing it down." And they're tearing it down to make everything gross. Like the church is beautiful and the area is beautiful, but it's this like short-sighted thing that people do when they can extract resources. They do.
Yeah.
When there is a profit to be made, they make that profit. They go after it.
What do we do?
I don't know. It's really weird because this is a recent thing, right? In terms of like the history of the earth. It's the impact that human beings are having has really only been in the last few hundred years, and really radically the last 150 or so. But when you watch it in these films, it's fucking nuts. These machines that they have, that they bore into the ground with, these enormous excavator machines. I mean, they're giant apartment buildings with like huge teeth that dig into the earth and scoop up all this shit and cut away the mountain. It's wild. It's a weird movie because you're like, whoa, we're fucked up.
Yeah.
You don't think about how fucked up we are while you're being us.
Yeah.
But if you get to look at it like in a film that's really well
well,
done,
you
like
know it in your heart, And
But that church with 1 million people, I've never seen a building like that. It's so big. It's like 100. That's it right there.
oh my God.
This is hundreds of thousands.
It's designed to fit 1 million people. Apparently, if this is the same place.
This is from 2006. I was trying to find that and got close, but
I thought it was in. Go back to that, please. I thought it was in Nigeria.
Can I pee and come back?
Yeah.
It says there's articles about these mega churches as a booming business in Nigeria.
Oh, is Lagos a part of Nigeria? Okay, go ahead. Look at the size of that. Go back to that picture. Look at the size of that picture, dude. That's insane. Do you imagine how hard you would kill on stage in front of that many people? Imagine murdering on stage in front of like 500,000 people. What the roar would be like. They need to lower that ceiling though. Make it, tighten it up. Yeah, it's crazy. As you're scrolling down, you get to see. But the amount of money they must be pulling in too. I mean, it's a lot of fucking people. But it also must cost a lot to keep it open.
Yeah.
See,
It's bringing in cash.
Oh, of course it is. But you've got fucking millions of people, man. That's a smaller one. I mean, how many of these mega churches do they have?
There's a list on the top of Google gave me.
Wow. Oh my God, there's quite a few.
These are all 10,000 or more.
And these really?
Yeah.
Well, what 10,000 is like Joel Osteen.
Yeah, so that makes it like an arena, but then you get over 30,000, and there's not really arenas bigger than that here in America. Stadiums there are, but
how many of the ones that they're like hundreds of thousands plus?
A couple, 3, 4.
See, it's like, okay. The Glory Dome. So they're in Nigeria, and then one of them is in Brazil, huh? Interesting. Salvation Ministries, Hands of God. Let's see what that looks like. Whoa. Oh, Annie's back just in time. Salvation Ministries, Hands of God Cathedral. So there's a few of these that have close to, have hundreds of thousands of people in them. Fucking crazy. But, I mean, where there's money. If you think about like those Joel Osteen type characters.
Yeah.
How much money is that guy making a year? Let's take a guess.
Ooh, a lot. And he doesn't get taxed, right?
He's working for the Lord, baby. Why would you take his money? Take his taxes? Come on. That's fucked up. What's wrong with you?
Listen, I love the Lord.
You don't love the Lord as much as I do.
I love the Lord.
No. I wanted him to get that money, all that money. And you wanted him to give some of it to the government.
I wanted to give some to me.
The government didn't preach. He preached.
This one's live on YouTube right now.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Really?
How many people?
It doesn't say. I was trying
Look
to
at this
show
outfit.
a picture, but it is one of those mega churches.
I like how long the thing is.
And where is this one?
It's somewhere in Nigeria. I don't know the exact.
Go back to that video.
Ota.
See that guy rocking it? Can we get a little volume on here? I want to hear his skills.
Fast to the end. It's never over with anyone engaging with God.
See? Boom. Perfect timing. That's all I needed to hear for the day.
Yeah.
It's never over for anyone engaging with
That's
God.
true.
Woo!
I always respond to his comments.
That guy?
No,
Or
I'm just
God?
saying engaging.
Oh,
Sounds
you
like,
engage
to me,
with
it sounds
God?
like internet engagement.
Oh, I get it, right. Like if God leaves comments. Keep it together, bitch. Imagine if God said that to you, you'd be like, whoa.
I'd be like, you're right, sir. Thank you.
So much responsibility being God if you were leaving comments. You know,
I
because
know.
it's such a shallow way to talk to someone. It can
Yeah.
be misinterpreted.
There's got to be an account.
You know how like
Okay.
you send someone a text message and you know, like they say something, you just go, thank you, period. And they go, are you mad at me?
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Why would you think I'm mad at you? Well, all you said was thank you. Like, it seemed a little
that
passive
fucking
aggressive.
period was really.
Yeah, that period was heavy.
No, that was a heavy flow. I texted Bonnie something and she was like, I was like, can you meet to talk about the movie? And she was like, yeah, well, let me know. I'm building a shed with Rich. And let me know when, and I'll see if I can make it. And I went in all caps. I go, you better not be mad at me. And she's like, I'm not mad at you. There was
you're
just
crazy.
something about that boundary she set where I was like, oh no.
You sound like you're crazy and needy.
It
What's
was
going
no.
on?
It was I was having a weird a week with that.
Was this when you were reading Jim's book or following Jim's courses or no?
Listen, I'm doing great, and I'm a new person. I'm not even that person I
oh,
was
look
when
at
I
you
said that.
reinventing yourself on the spot.
Yes, it's.
How long ago was this? Last
it was,
week.
Yesterday.
Tuesday.
Yesterday.
Was it?
No, but you're right.
Yesterday.
Like I know we're joking. Yeah. Sing to me.
All my troubles seem so far away.
What's this?
What is what? Oh, it's a lighter for cigars.
But it looks like a car? Or no, that doesn't look like a car? Oh my God.
I mean, I guess it kind of looks like a car. It does a little, right? But no, it's just a lighter. See this part right here? That's where the... And, this part
And that's
right here.
for cutting cigars?
Yes, and this part right here is one of these things like trims a cigar. I'm not sure how it works. It's a new one. Interesting.
And what's this? This trims the cigars too?
Yeah, that's just trims cigars. That's all it does. Oh, here it
You
goes.
could cut your finger off
Look
with
at
this thing.
See this here? Put the cigar thing in there. It goes like that. Clip.
Ooh.
See, and then oh yeah.
That's very...
So you have two things in one.
It's amazing. And it's a
Yes.
car.
It's ergonomic. Do you smoke cigars, Annie?
To be cool and
Only?
fit in. Sometimes I try. When we were on that rooftop, I was trying, and I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing here. But I have brothers. I'll always try something.
Did you like it?
I thought it was okay. I would
Just
never
okay.
go by myself and do it.
Maybe just if you wanted to be one of the guys.
I did want to be one of the guys. I
Yeah.
have brothers. I don't pretend that's not my life.
That's a weird thing, right? To want if you wanted to like go to a cigar bar, be one of the guys, sit around, talk about sports,
I'm like, listen. Grow up my mustache.
probably get a lot of attention.
Yeah, but I feel like I just like to try things anyway. So instead of maybe judging the trying to be one of the guys, I try to be one of the girls too.
Just give it a shot.
I like to just try shit out.
Do you ever sit down and say, okay, this is some things I'd like to try. I'd like to try bungee jumping. I'd like to try race car driving. I'd like to try. Do you ever do that?
Not really. I'm just open to when opportunities unfold because I have gone skydiving. I went with my friend Erin and we would go on the date. She used to go with her dad and her dad passed away, so we go on his
Aw.
pass away date. And this year
Did
we
he
didn't.
die skydiving?
He didn't. Wouldn't that be cool? No, but it was just
That'd
they
be
used to always
gangster.
go skydiving, and then it would be gangster of us to keep going.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But no, he passed away. He had Parkinson's and yeah. But he so we would go for that, and then this time she has kids now. And I remember feeling the first time we went, I did only go once, but when we went, I remember feeling like my whole life I've been waiting to go skydiving. Like this was going to be this amazing experience. And then I wasn't scared to death. Like I was looking for that fear of death
You
moment.
didn't have it, really?
I didn't because I was attached to the guy and I just knew that they did it so often. I was like, this guy's not going to want to die, so he's going to do it right. So I used to do it.
Sometimes you think they get a little too casual.
Maybe, but then on stage I was doing a joke about how I was like underwhelmed by it and how next time I want to go up, I want to go to a place with 1 star that has like, and I want the guy to be like, there's 2 parachutes, 1 works, pick, like really. But then this guy in the audience came up to me, him and his wife, and she goes, oh, he's a skydiving instructor and he'll take you out and really scare the shit out of you. And I was like, maybe I don't mean that. And I never took him up on it because I was like,
What if he tried hard to scare you and wound up dying? Those guys die. Brian Redband, one of his dad's coworkers, was always trying to get him to skydive. Like, you should come skydive with me. Skydiving's awesome. Skydiving's awesome. And then one day he showed up at work and they're not there.
No.
He's like, what happened? They're like, parachute didn't open.
Yeah, my dad's friend is a skydiver, and he went into the hospital. I think he shattered a bunch of stuff, and he still skydives.
Jesus. What happened? It didn't deploy, or it deployed fucked up?
I don't know. I don't know the story, but also on the challenge, you saw, what's his name? With the hand. Jordan. There's
36
this guy
seasons.
36 seasons. There's this guy, Jordan, who is a fucking gangster, okay? He was born with like 2 fingers on his hand, okay? So he competes in all these things with one, well, he can still use it, but like pretty much one hand. But they had to parachute down, they had to skydive down, and his parachute didn't open, or he came down too fast, and he fucked himself up, but he still ended up doing the challenge, which is like 3 days, I think they do it, where they barely sleep. And
Whoa.
It's just it's TJ Lavin hosted. Are you friends with him?
I don't know who that is.
Oh, he was a BMX dirt bike rider, or dirt bike.
My jiu-jitsu instructor, John-Jacques Machado, he was born like that. He only has one hand.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible.
One of his hands only has a thumb.
Dude, and these are the people that you see the shit they can do, and then you're like, okay, I better get off the fucking couch.
Well, John-Jacques is one of the greatest jiu-jitsu players of all time. Like, he won Abu Dhabi with one hand.
And he can do
strangles the shit out of people.
Cable lock
he
like
gets
this.
that arm, the left hand, the one that only has a thumb. He slides that thing right under people's fucking necks.
And you can't break his cable grip.
Gable grip.
Grip, I mean.
Well, you the way you gable grip is you only really need one good hand to gable grip.
Yeah.
I mean, you could easily grip someone like this, but he's choking people like this, where he's sliding it under the arm and then gripping his hands. But he's also, he's been doing jiu-jitsu since he was a baby.
Now, would you compete in jiu-jitsu still?
Not at this stage of my life.
Right.
It's just asking to get hurt.
And do you like spar and stuff still?
Yeah, sure.
Do you ever get hurt?
Yeah. Yeah, I got hurt a couple weeks ago.
What happened?
It's fucked something up in my back.
Is it still fucked up?
It's a little weird. It's okay.
But you don't regret it?
But you know what it is? No. I think there's a certain amount of risk that you're going to take if you do stuff that's fun, that's physical, physical things, like especially like jiu-jitsu or running hills or kettlebell workouts or anything crazy like that, kickboxing. It's fucking, you're putting a lot of stress. You're exploding. There's a lot of energy, a lot of explosive moves. They test all your tendons and muscles. But one of the things that I've realized is like I can't not get massages. I have to get massages, and I didn't get one for a year. Because of the pandemic, I basically didn't get.
Yeah.
And then my back was so knotted up, but I got 2 serious deep tissue massages in a week, and it just kind of straightened up.
How long are they? How long do you go?
90 minutes.
90 minutes.
They beat the fuck out of you too. You don't enjoy a second of it.
Yeah, no, I hate massages that feel good.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like a soft massage. Nothing is more upsetting. I'm always like, give me the elbow. Nothing in the world. Wow. And I know about Waco. I know what happened there. And I'm not talking about the surfing. But yeah, no, I like a deep motherfucking massage. But do you know the Dr. Cerno thing?
Oh, that's that guy, the back pain guy?
Yeah, where he's like, it's all repressed childhood rage, which is so funny.
Nonsense.
But it is.
Listen, that shit drives me fucking crazy. Because I'm going to just explain this right now. Saying that as an open general statement is so fucking stupid. Because people have bulging discs that push on their nerves, and their fucking arms atrophy and their hands stop working. That shit's real. Yeah. Okay, it's not childhood memories. Yep. Some people have back pain that's just stress and tension. Some people. But a lot of people have fucking serious spine injuries.
Yeah.
The idea that, it's all, like somebody tried to explain it to me. I went, shut the fuck up.
You should have him on here and have him try to explain it to you. That's the type of shit I want to see.
No, I'd like to have him on with an actual spinal surgeon.
Do that.
A guy who talks about, like, okay, let me explain. This is a fucking metal cage we had to put on this guy's back because his spine was crumbling. And this is another guy who lost all use of his left calf because his nerves are pinched off. Like, he's right in some ways. And this is how he's right. He's right that some people carry so much stress and so much tension and that they sort of almost distract themselves with back pain. But then there's also legitimate significant injuries. And I've dealt with a lot of those fucking Looney Tunes because I had a bulging disc for like a long time. And I was going to a chiropractor before I knew that was nonsense. And this is how he told me that I didn't have a bulging disc. He pushed down on my head.
No,
like,
I hate when they do the thing.
They do nonsense. He was like pushing down on my head. Like, nope, definitely. If that doesn't hurt, you definitely have a bulging disc. So I'm like, man, I need to go to a real doctor. And I finally went to a guy who deals with neck injuries. And he took me in for an MRI. And he's like, look, this is how your disc is bulging out and pressing. And you have disc degeneration, which means all the cushioning in between my spine, all of it was shrinking. And my height, I'm shrinking because these little discs are shrinking. And so it makes your back more irritable because there's no cushioning.
Right.
So it
Is that
limits
why
your
people
mobility.
shrink anyway? Like
old
just
people.
naturally?
That's why old people shrink. What's going on is their spine, like the juiciness in between your discs, it all goes away. So think about like here's your spinal column, right? You have all these bones, and in between the bones you have these discs. And these things, if you do, especially wrestlers, their backs are all fucked up. And a lot of jiu-jitsu guys, like I have 4 friends with fake discs in their back.
Yeah.
I know so many people that have their backs fused and necks fused. It's
Does it
really
help?
It does kinda for now.
Yeah.
But it's all for now. It's like it's just letting you know the end is near.
Right.
But my point is, like, anybody that says that it's all in your head is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That's a crazy thing to say. Because, like, my friend Travis Luter, who was in here with Kevin Holland, who's his coach, he's an infamous jiu-jitsu guy, like very famous. Travis is like world class, like top of the food chain. He had to get his neck fused. He's got like these bolts and screws in his neck.
Can he turn his neck?
That's kind of stiff. It's like this. But he still trains. It's just he loves training so much that he just...
It really is so fun. Like, I didn't really learn that much about the sport. Like, I don't know any of the fighters really, but I just went to class as the exercise and learning the things. And just as it is like doing math problems on a body is how it felt. It was really such a fun fucking workout.
Yeah.
And the risk of getting hurt makes it a little bit more exciting.
It is a little exciting in that regard.
Maybe
but
I will
There's
go
ways to
back.
mitigate it. There's ways to mitigate it. And that's one of the things that I work really hard on is like strengthening my neck and strengthening my back and strengthening all of the different muscles that protect all that area. Like I have this reverse hyper machine now from
you showed that to me.
Sorinex that I use. And then I have like this iron neck thing that I do. Well, got a fucking halo on my head with a bungee cord. I'm doing this shit. And that's why my neck is so thick.
Yeah,
it's all
it really
these
is.
kind of exercises.
This has happened over the past, 10 years?
Yes.
Your neck popped?
Yeah, well, that's when I really got into, well, it was more than that when I really got into jiu-jitsu, but I really got into strengthening my neck after the neck injury. So that was like, well, I really fucked it up around 2009-ish or 8-ish, somewhere around then. It was bad. Like my hands were going numb.
Oof.
It was a real problem. And I didn't understand why. And it just... That's the thing. You can't go to chiropractors for these things.
Yeah.
You have to go to a real doctor. But you can't let them. Here's the other thing, because real doctors always want to cut you.
Right.
They're like, you need surgery.
They always say the worst thing.
Well, not all of them. I don't want to generalize,
Yeah.
but I did. Too late. Some doctors are awesome. I got really lucky that the doctor that I went to, one of them wanted to do surgery. The other one was like, I think you should try biological treatments like stem cells. And then I found out about Regenikine. And then I had this Regenikine's treatment done. And that cured me up. That fixed my bulging disc.
And how do they do it? It's an injection or what?
It's your own blood. They take your own blood and they spin it in a centrifuge. It's like platelet-rich plasma, but they add a bunch of stuff to it. I forget how.
You're going to catch me like
works.
spinning a tampon? Like, is this how it works?
I don't think that's the same thing. And then they inject it directly into the areas because it produces this incredible anti-inflammatory medicine from your own blood.
How
And
fast does it work?
for me, it was 2 weeks. I had this bulging disc, and it was painful. Like my elbow would hurt out of nowhere, but it was because my disc was pushing against the nerve.
And so the stem cell like regrows the.
Well, that wasn't stem
part?
cells. That's not stem cells. That's Regenikine. Regenikine, again, it's like a platelet-rich plasma thing. The stem cell shit that I've gotten that in my knees. I've gotten that in my shoulders. I've gotten that in my back. I'm just like a science experiment.
That's cool.
But it works.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 53, and I still work out pretty much exactly the same way. Like everything I do pretty much the same way I did when I was 25 or 35 or even 45. And I'm almost 55. I'll be 55 in a couple of years, which is crazy.
I thought I was going to catch you in a weird lie that you were 54.
I'll be 54 in August. It's not that far away. I'm basically 54.
When's your birthday? August what?
11.
I'm going to come up with a really good present to get you.
Ooh, I'm excited.
What do you get the king? I'll come up with something
just give me
really
a hug.
good.
That's all I want.
A hug.
But anyway, the point is, not everybody has access to all this stuff, right? It's like it costs a lot of money to do all these treatments.
How much can you say? How much
It's
it is?
a lot. It's like tens of thousands of dollars for all these different things that I'm doing.
For each like injection type thing?
Yeah, it's fucking expensive. The Regenikine's expensive, and it's multiple treatments too.
Mm-hmm.
There's pictures of me getting Regenikine like all on my back online with these fucking like these needles in my back, and then they squirt the blood into these little.
How long does it
holes.
take? When do they take the blood to when they put it back in you?
I think it's like a 10-hour process.
And do you stay at the place?
No,
the
you
time?
go the next day. Like, so they'll draw your blood, and then they'll do it either the next day or, following days whenever you have the time.
So interesting. I really like, the thing I always think about is I have TMJ. That's like a thing I've had since I was a kid. And whenever you go to a doctor, they're like, oh, it's stress or whatever. And you're like, it's fucking stress. What do you mean it's fucking stress?
Now, what exactly does TMJ mean?
Now, TMJ is actually the name of it. It's the the trigeminal. Yeah, I can't pronounce. I should know what it is. But Jamie, if you were.
Too much jizz?
Yeah, it's too much jizz. Yes.
Temporomandibular. Temporal.
But it's the name of the joint, but it's actually it's TMJD, which is the disorder.
Temporomandibular joint.
So TMD. So then
Can you make that smaller, please? Smaller so we could all read the whole thing? What are you doing?
Jamie, what the fuck?
What are you
I'm
doing?
zooming out and it's not going.
Oh.
What the fuck?
What the fuck, bro? TMJ disorder is a type of temporomandibular disorder, or TMD, can cause pain in your joint. Let's find out what the treatment. Let's see. How do you relieve it? Let's see the treatment. I bet.
I've tried like acupuncture.
Imagine if it was just sucking dick all day.
Well,
that's the only way.
I would, they tell you not to. There was like a list when I went to this one TMJ clinic, and they were like, "Don't chew gum, don't do this, don't do that," and I posted it and added, "Don't suck dick."
Mayo treatment. Go to Mayo. You added that.
There are times I've had boyfriends where it's really like, "I'm so sorry, we're not compatible."
Because of that.
My jaw will start clicking.
Oh, okay. Listen, feel your jaw. Observe the range of motion. Okay, they're not saying anything.
It's one of those things
Care.
where
Scroll down.
There's nothing down there.
Doesn't say anything?
There's really,
Oh,
it's
no, there
like
was. Sorry.
Pain relievers, antidepressants. What?
because it's like a tension for me, at least. It was like I grind my teeth at night. It's bruxism, so it's a tightened jaw at night.
I do exercise with my jaw.
You do?
I have this rubber thing that I bite down on. I put it in my teeth and I go like this.
Yeah, no, I've seen those. I think because I already have it at a place that's
bad
for me.
Maybe
I
it's
think
not.
I need to get like I've been looking into what do you call them? What kind of doctor? Cranial sacral doctor? Like
voodoo.
Is that voodoo?
They do voodoo on you.
Is cranial sacral not a real doctor?
No, it's like these chickens. I don't know.
I'm like, yeah, I thought you know everything.
No, I've never heard of
But
that.
like, I think I need to do something where they expand my palate and my teeth and kind of like can adjust it. But you know what worked for me, and I got to get back into? I did breath work, and that is the only thing that has gotten my tense depression.
It's tension thing.
I think it is. Well, I used to get so pissed when the doctors would say it's like it's your tension. I'm like, fuck you, it's not. And then I'm like, oh, maybe it is.
To answer your question, because there's even a question if it's legitimate, it might not be. I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
It says there needs to be more evidence.
Oh, okay.
What? Plenty of anecdotal evidence at CST. What is CST?
Craniosacral therapy.
Oh, okay. Effective treatment, but more research is needed to scientifically determine this. There's evidence that it can release stress and tension. Some research suggests that it may only be effective in infants, toddlers, and children. Does CBD work for you? Does that reduce
CBD,
inflammation?
I never really got too into, but maybe now with my Kill Cliff CBD, 25 milligrams.
Yeah, that's not enough. I mean, this is great for, just overall.
If you have any CBD advice, let me know.
I do. Yeah. I'm a big believer in CBD.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in anything that you can do that reduces inflammation. Yeah. Inflammation is the cause of a lot of ailments in people. A lot of sicknesses and disease comes out of inflammation. And a lot of it is the diet that people eat, the bad foods, but inflammation in your jaw like that, I wonder if there's exercises that are good. Oh, Jamie's got something. CBD oil can relieve the pain caused by TMD by easing muscle tension and reducing inflammation. The best benefit of CBD oil is its direct pain relief. By applying the oil directly to sore areas, you can experience pain relief in just minutes. Some patients also choose to vaporize the oil during inhalation. Yeah, there you go. See exercises.
I hate
TMG.
vaping.
What is that fucking thing that I use? That Jazzercise? Yeah, it's called Jazzercise.
I've seen those. Those are cool, but
I have big ass jaw muscles now. These things right
oh my
here.
God, imagine I come back like looking more like Brett Butler each day.
But these muscles have 100% gotten bigger.
But I have like one is stronger than the other. Sometimes I get massage. Have you ever gotten anyone to give you a jaw massage like on the inside? That feels fucking
weird,
wild.
Right? It's wild.
Yeah, it's really weird. They put
like,
those little finger cots on.
I know, they're in your mouth.
Very weird. I'm like, while you're in there,
my mouth down.
While you're in there, I'd like to. Can you help me with my gag reflex? Help me out, doc. I'm like, hey, that's not your finger.
Yeah, I was reading about this guy that got molested by his massage therapist, and he didn't realize that he was getting molested by a male massage therapist. But he thought it was normal for the guy to put his fingers in his asshole.
Yes, my friend just had that happen.
Yeah, like what? He's like, listen, you got to trust me. I'm just going to put my fingers in your ass.
It's fucking
and
crazy.
Massage your prostate and everything. And he was like, what? And so this guy just was letting this guy basically just
probably
molest
felt
him.
Good.
It probably did feel good.
He was like, I do feel a release.
Imagine if he got hard and then
he probably jizzed.
Maybe.
He's like, my mouth will actually help with the...
That's it.
No, but
and then
definitely...
Your mouth will help me, and we'll help each other.
Why are you Mark Normand?
Oh, I'm not. I'm gay. Hey.
I sucked his dick.
Hey, and that's what I did. I had to do it.
But yeah, no, whenever I've gone to just these like whatever massage places, that cost like
$20.
Exactly. I mean, when they go for your butt cheeks first and your asshole is getting like cold air going into it, you're like, oh no, I'm getting one of these fucking massages.
At my asshole.
Why? My asshole should not have cold air coming into it. Clean, cold air.
And then you smell their breath on your asshole.
Oh my God, it's unbelievable. Yeah. Oh no, they're warming it up. But there was one I got where this guy left the room and you know how they're supposed to just like expose one body part at a time? Mm-hmm. There was just no, I go, dude, you got to put the fucking blanket on me. And it's such a weird thing. It's such a like, I don't know if it's like PTSD or whatever, but it's like, I just say like quiet and like don't say anything. I like tip the guy. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing?
Girls do it.
Well, that's what I've learned. But I always wanted to get the guys because they would do it harder than the girls.
You can just get a thick gal.
I got to get a thick gal. I got to be like, have you done
CrossFit?
Jazzercise? Have you used the thing?
I'm going to grab your clit with my teeth, but trust me.
Like,
just
there
trust
it is.
me.
It's hanging.
I'm going to put my whole hand up your ass.
Did you
and
see?
I'm going to bring you nirvana.
Jessie May did, like, she repeated it. Someone else had already done it, but she was doing, like, a fake kettlebell workout. And she was, like, doing a squat with the kettlebell. And then she had, like, she edited so that it was, like, her hands were in her pants. Like, it was, like, labia or something picking up the kettlebell. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It was so gross and so funny.
Women do that, you know.
In real life?
Yeah, there's a world record pussy clamp lady from Russia. She carries plates with her pussy. Yeah, so she's got like a ball on a string. She shoves that ball into her snatch and then clamps down with her pussy muscles, and the string hangs down and she clips weights to it. And she's there squatting. She like has it in her pussy and she's like,
oh my God.
She's just letting all the men know, I'm here to make you come forever. You'll
break your dick off.
You'll never stop coming with me. Angelica has the pussy.
I just went to her page. Did you see this thing she posted?
Yes, that guy.
So horrific.
I've seen that in the past.
And by the way, you can see that Russian lady opening for me at Dead Crow.
This guy had bolts stuffed into his ass cheeks and then bungee jumped from them.
I like those pants.
But I mean, what kind of a person?
It's just, what's the point of this?
What happened to his life that look like they're hanging from the ass meat?
Oh,
Look at this. I mean, how does it not rip off, first of all? I mean, he's hanging from the meat of his
and he's
ass
like, I
cheeks.
did it.
Look at that. Look how it's like connected to his ass cheeks.
When I used to live in Santa Fe, there was this whole kind of like circus-y type crowd there, and there was like a guy who had like traveled in the circus. I wish I could remember his name, but he hung a cinder block from his. I went to this party up in the mountains, like these rich people in Santa Fe. I was probably 20,
Finish
19
that
or 20.
sentence. He hung a cinder block from. And you stopped. and you
I'll
kept
tell you
going
because
to-
I want to tell you the whole story. So the whole party was. Do you remember the show Real Sex on HBO?
Yeah.
So they had done an episode where they came. There were these like lesbian oil wrestlers. I think they were lesbians. I think they were oil wrestlers that they came and did a piece on. So then it was the premiere of that, and I somehow like had a fake ID and met all these people, and they invited me up to this house.
How old were you?
Like 20, maybe 19, 20. And then I had some fun in Santa Fe. God damn, I love that town. But so I went up to this party that they were having, which was the premiere of their episode of Real Sex. And I remember I was like topless they had a bed of nails. Like, does anyone want to do it? And me and my gay friend were like, sure. And we were just up there having fun. And so I laid on this bed of nails. And then this guy came up and he hung a cinder block off his dick. He had I think a piercing. And then they pierced people's backs and they were like suspending them.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it was really weird.
That's like right out of the they used to do that in what Native American tribe was it? There's a movie, A Man Called Horse, with God, I forget the old dude's name. Famous Scottish guy. Richard
Sean Connery?
No, Richard
Slaps
Richard
the bitch.
Harris. It's an amazing movie.
Yeah.
But they would go I believe it was the Lakotas. They would put a cut in their chest plates, yeah, and they would hang them.
Is this a white man playing this? Did they whitewash this character?
No, it was supposed to be a white man in the movie.
Oh, okay.
It was Richard Harris, A Man Called Horse. So it was basically a movie. I forget what the ritual's called. It's not the ghost dance. The ghost dance.
Are they
is
doing
something
that as a
did.
punishment to him, or he's
No.
doing it?
It's a rite of passage. Men would do it, and they would proudly show their scars, like really fucked up scars. The really tough guys wanted it to rip through their muscle tissue, so you'd see these huge scars on their chest.
Sounds like a boob job to me.
I'm really pretty sure it was a Lakota thing. Yeah, but this is the movie. But suspension. Just Google Native American suspension ritual.
See,
It
also
says
Dances
Sioux.
with Wolves.
American Western to portray the Sioux as the protagonists. Oh, okay. So that was the Sioux, I guess. But the Sioux were the Lakota. I'm sorry. What am I fucking moron? That's what it means. Sioux means
Nice catch there.
Lakota. What, say retarded? Yeah. I try to say it is. I try to mean it when I say it.
Wait, what is this?
That's the girl that holds weights with her pussy.
Look at that booty too. She's got really strong ass muscles because of it.
Well, she likes to have a tight booty grip on the cock as well.
God.
Look at her.
Oh, cutie. She does kind of look like the girl that opened for me.
I don't like that. Like, that's not even impressive. Either go hard or go home. Okay? If you see like a guy who's a powerlifting champion, but he's got a little pink dumbbell in his hand, I'm not impressed. But here she is.
31 pounds is.
You should get her with one of those like.
This is my record. 31 pounds of pussy power.
One of your kettlebells. You should get her on.
Yeah, look at her. That's amazing that she can do that, though. Look at those weights. She's getting it right up in the old cooter. Whoa, pop. There it
I was
is.
gonna say, what is it
Smell it.
there?
I know. What does it smell like? Like, ma'am, I think you might have
Smells like
bacterial
steroids.
vaginosis. Ma'am, you should get that checked out. Did you have a fish fillet? What is this?
Well, not only that, it's probably like an unnatural amount of sweat and strain.
Wait a second. When you did the election thing, you were eating a fillet of fish. Is that
Yes.
your move? That's your McDonald's choice?
I like for McDonald's.
My
that's
favorite
move.
too. It's a
Thank
fucking fish
you.
stick.
It's really good. Tastes good. I like it. It's terrible for you.
I know.
It's probably barely fish. It's probably something that knows fish.
I know.
It's like trimmings and shit all
Yeah.
mushed out into that weird
It
square.
tastes so good though. But
They're
was that
delicious.
like that was just you? Did Tim bring? How did that happen?
I think we had someone go out and get food.
And you're just
'Cause
like,
it was-
fuck it, let's do McDonald's.
Well, I think we were drunk, and so Tim wasn't. Tim's sober, but
Is he?
When yeah. He's very sober.
Really?
He used to go hard in the paint.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was.
I never heard "hard in the paint" that line, but I understand.
You never
what it
heard
is.
hard in the paint?
Yeah, I never did.
It's a very common term. But Tim used to go hard. He used to party way too hard, a lot of coke,
Yeah.
and then he go, okay, can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we indulged in some terrible food, and that's my move. When I would come home from the store, if I was feeling really like fuck it, I would go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
And get filet of fishes.
I watched that episode with Whitney in her gym. We were working out in her gym, watching you guys, and she was like, "Who won?" I still don't understand. She kept texting. She's like, "What happened?" Whitney's like doing content. She's like, "Joe."
Who won? No one knew who won. That was the thing. Do you know they're still contesting the election?
It's so crazy.
I was watching something about it today. They're still contesting the election. Apparently, there's some recount going on right now in Arizona. Is that real? Like in
That
some
can't be real.
audit of the No, I'm telling you, I think it's real. Here we are in fucking what is it? June?
I have no clue.
It's June.
I'm a comedian. I don't know what month it is.
June. Yeah, June 14th. How
Oh,
funny
it's
is
my
that? I have to
niece's
check.
birthday, Flag Day. Happy
Oh.
birthday, Reese. She's not watching. She's a
One
child.
of the girls.
9 years old.
One of the girls
Yep.
that was in that
Yep,
video.
my baby.
Oh, that's cute.
I love her. I love
you're
them
good,
so
auntie.
much. My nephews are so cute. I'm just so lucky. I'm just so grateful.
That's
I love
awesome.
them.
That's a great
Love my
attitude.
babies.
Did you learn that from your friend Jim?
No, I knew that ahead of time.
Okay.
But I'm very easily able to get into a peaceful state if I imagine my nieces and nephews hugging me.
You spent a lot of time with Whitney over the pandemic.
Oh my God, it was so fun.
You were basically living at her place
Oh
for
my
a while,
God.
right?
I wish. Oh my God, I was living in construction zone coming to her house.
You were just going over there? Oh, I thought you were living there.
No, but we were there a lot. It was so fun. God. And then I got a puppy and she loved my dog. We just had such a fun time.
You guys did a few podcasts together, but you never did a group podcast together. That is a missed opportunity.
I know.
You two together would be a fucking amazing
I would
podcast.
love to do it. I mean, listen, she works so hard on her, on Good For You. And I think it's such a good podcast.
It's amazing.
And I will reapproach her about doing a podcast, but I do think she might be too busy for it. But I would love to do one with her.
I think you two together have a special chemistry.
Yeah,
You're
it's
both
really
so ridiculous, and the two of you together would be so funny.
You know what it is? We're not worried about being like humiliated. I think we will just like do what
That's
we
part
just
of it. Yeah, for sure. But it's just the chemistry. There's just like you two as friends. It's a fun friendship. Like having you two on the podcast together was hilarious.
It was so fun. Well, that was kind of the beginning of us getting really close.
Really?
Yeah.
No shit.
Like we were friends, and I would call her about stuff, and she would call me. But it wasn't. We got really tight after that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And now we have our chat thread, which we talk every day.
Yeah,
all three of us.
That's a great chat thread.
It's so fun. Yeah, I'll
It's a
release it on
good
my
one.
Patreon. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Can you
Whoa,
imagine?
Jesus.
Can you imagine?
I didn't mean it.
There's some government official reading those things. We should move
For
it over to
sure.
Signal.
There definitely is. Yeah, we definitely should move it to Signal for some of the more risque links.
When I found you on Signal, and the first thing I read, I was like, "Where can I buy DMT?" Do you like that? So
That's
fun.
crazy that you guys became close after that podcast.
Like
but
we were friends, but it really. I mean, she's like my soul sister. I just really fucking love her.
She's a very unusual person. I appreciate her.
Me too.
I really, really do. But I just think the two of you guys together, it's a fucking wicked
Yeah.
combination, and you definitely should do something together.
Yeah,
If she has the time, I mean, I don't want to be the guy that tells, oh, you got to do this, but I just think like you guys together would so fun. Like when I'm with Duncan, all right, Duncan is my Whitney in that regard. Like when he was here the other day, I was like, dude, you and I together are so much better than I am by myself. It's like me and him together. It's a magic thing. I go,
Yeah.
let's do one a week. He's like, I can't. I live in Nashville, man. But he's coming out here, and he's going to come out here for a month.
Wow. What
and
month
he's
is
going to
that?
look around. I can't tell you. You might tell
Well,
people.
whenever you tell me, I'll come out for that
Okay.
month too.
He wants to come out here and look around. I go, dude, move here. Sell your fucking house. It's too cold in Asheville.
Yeah, get out of there.
It just
Asheville is
freezes.
so beautiful,
It's
though.
gorgeous.
God, is that a beautiful place?
But I'm telling them, like, you should live here too. Just live here most of the time. You don't want to be there in the wintertime.
Right. But that's how I feel about this place too. When you were like, you moving out, I'm like, I just plan on being here a long time. Like Tony was like, you're not going to do Kill Tony. I'm like, Tony, I'm going to be out here all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be back.
You'll be back.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, I'll have news, and I can give you some news after the podcast about the opening of the club, because I have some solid fucking options now, and things are coming together finally. It's a long story, and one day I'll tell the whole thing, but the nightmare of trying to get a building and put together a club has been crazy.
Yeah.
But a lot of monkey wrench stuff. It's like some parts I can't tell because I'm a nice person and I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, because it'll be super obvious who I'm talking about. But I'll tell you.
Yeah.
But once it's up and running,
Be on the Patreon.
once it's up and running, I'm going to do my level best to make it the most accommodating and comfortable place for comedians.
I will tell you, I know you had told me some stuff, some of your plans, and after Tony's incident, everyone's now bagging phones.
Mm-hmm.
What a heavenly situation it is to do a show with people's phones bagged. I mean, it really does feel so
Much better.
fun.
People are so much more
they're
attentive.
paying attention. Yeah, it's great. And
I saw on Dig the other day some guy was getting roasted because he was using his phone while his wedding vows were being read. He's literally being married. The priest is saying his stuff, and he checks his phone.
That's me and Whitney.
And people are like, bro.
That's me and Whitney at our wedding.
But people are fucking addicts. I'm this close to getting a fucking flip phone.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to take this and just leave it somewhere all day and just have a flip phone where
It's a good idea.
you have to call me. And if you text me, I'm going to call you back.
Right.
I'm not, I'll read your text, but I'm not. I feel like we're too fucking vulnerable. It's too easy to get sucked into these things. If I'm sitting here and I'm bored for 5 seconds, I go, let's check YouTube. And then I'm watching some stupid fucking video that I don't really care about.
And then you're sending it to me and Whitney and making us fucking watch it.
Yes. Did you see that video that I sent you of the girl?
I didn't watch it yet.
Okay, wait. Some of those are great. But also what's great is just living. Yeah. One time when I was in Hawaii, I broke my phone. It was weird. It was a crazy break. I dropped it and just started randomly calling people. And I should have made a video of it because it was kind of crazy. I'd be like, look, and I would hold it up. I held it up to my wife. I go, watch this. And then it just, beep, it just starts dialing. And I'd hang up. And then it just, beep, starts dialing
so
someone
sad.
else.
People were so excited. They're like, Joe Rogan's calling me?
Well, it's people that I knew, but I don't think they were that pumped. But it was just randomly going through my contacts and dialing people. And then I would swipe out of it. And it's like, nope, fuck you. We're calling people. It was just calling people.
Oh my God.
It was wild. And so then it eventually just stopped working altogether, and I just shut it off. But I couldn't get it to stop calling people. So even when I was calling people, it was trying to hang up. It was going nutty. So I got a new phone. But I ordered it online, and then I had to pay for it to get shipped. But I was in Lanai, or Lanai, if you want to say it the way they do. Thank you. I don't want to culturally appropriate their language. So it took 3 days to get it to me. And during that time, I was in bliss.
Yeah.
There was no phone. I was just wandering around, just existing. And I was like, this is better. This is a better way to live. Like this whole checking Twitter all day and checking, Instagram and checking YouTube and what's going on in the news. I would check the news app.
Yeah.
Oh, and then that happened.
Oh my God, the news app is such a fucking nightmare.
It's a nightmare because it sucks you in. And if you curate it, right, like I want all news about, I'm into technology. So it's all like technology news or car news or sports or like fighting. And it's like that's all it's giving me. And it's just like, you're just feeding your fucking head with nonsense.
Because it knows what you want. It knows what's going to distract you. It knows what's going to get you sucked in.
Just feeding your mind with
nonsense. I know.
Dun, dun, dun.
But it also is fun. I'm always like, I'm going to figure out one day a schedule where it's like I just post my stuff and then I
think my move is to have that as like an extra phone and to have a flip phone as like a real phone.
How many phones do you have?
I'll tell you off the air. I have quite a few numbers. I have email addresses and a lot of other shit.
Whitney,
keep a wide variety.
Texting your Whitney, okay. By the way, so first of all, everyone's always like, stop name dropping Whitney and John. I'm like, I talk to these people every day. Sorry, they're not your friends. But so. Joe changed his phone number. Am I allowed to say that? Mm-hmm. Okay, changed his phone number. And he goes, delete the old number. Just use this number. Whitney, that fucking bitch, she texted your old number every day for like 12 weeks.
I blame the ketamine.
It could have been the ketamine. That was her ketamine phase.
Ketamine phase.
And then she goes, Joe, she goes, oh my God, we have to stop. I go, bitch, I will have your back on a lot of things, but I have not texted that number once.
Yeah.
Cannot go out on this
She,
one.
for whatever reason, didn't delete it. And I said, I gave her the number. I'm like, this is the number. Go to your phone, delete that one. Don't use that one anymore because I don't carry it anymore. That thing's in a drawer and I pull it out once a week just to see if there's anything really important.
And it's just always Whitney.
It was Whitney like 30 times. I was like, Jesus, fucking ketamine. Because I know ketamine is like, I think it's a disassociative.
It is a disassociative.
Yeah, which is like, she's disassociating my number and just making random phone calls. She was on that shit a lot.
Yeah.
She offered it to me. She's like, you want to try it?
She offered it. I was on it for a little while too. Then I got an ulcer. I was like, I think I'm good. Like, Jesus Christ, I don't need this. I don't need to disassociate anymore.
There's a place that's opening up out here that does ketamine IV drips.
No, I think I'm not knocking that. I think that's something that could really help people.
It can really help people.
But you need it regulated.
But apparently, it's mind-blowing. Apparently, like Neil Brennan did it.
Yeah.
He said, because I go, what is it? I go, you're going to, because he was doing a lot of other things, right? Because Neil's had some issues with depression. He's pretty open about it. And he was doing a bunch of different stuff. And then he said to me, he goes, I'm going to do ketamine therapy. I go, that's legal?
You're going to Whitney's house?
This was years ago.
Yeah.
I go, is this legal? He goes, yeah, apparently. I mean, I go, well, how much do they dose you up with? He goes, well, I can't imagine it's a lot. Oh, wrong.
Yeah.
They strap him to a chair like he's a mental patient and shove a fucking needle in his arm. And they gave him an IV drip of ketamine. And apparently it was like a full-blown psychedelic dose. And he goes, dude, I'm in this doctor's office and I am fucking tripping balls. I go, like real tripping? He goes, like, gone. Like I was gone. I couldn't believe how strong it was. It's an insane dose they give you, but they're monitoring you and watching you.
And then they
making
talk
sure
it
you're
through
okay.
with you and
I
everything.
guess, yeah. I mean, but I don't know what ketamine is like. Did you have a blowout experience?
I didn't go into a K-hole. Maybe when I was in high school when I was doing it. I mean, I used to do it at parties. It was like a rave drug.
But what does it do to you? What does it make it feel
It's like I felt like a cloud. Like the night we did the rooftop thing, Whitney gave me some of her. I was like, Whitney, she was like, just do 2 squirts in each nostril. I'm like,
two squirts when you're talking to Jay Leno.
Fucking high as shit. I was trying to get off that fucking roof. I was like, I'm a cloud. I just was like, everything was just soft. I was like, oh my God. I mean, it felt great, but
Remember when Jay Leno's fixing Whitney's zipper?
There is a picture.
I got a video.
There's a video. Whitney's crotch zipper broke, and then
she's like, Jay, can you fix this? And Jay's like, okay.
His face is just in her crotch. That is so funny.
But in all fairness, it was not his idea.
It was not. It was Ketamine Whitney.
But
it was her. She first had her pink hair. This was the beginning.
It was the beginning of the end. It was when she was first starting to trip.
Yeah, God, she really.
But it was she was laughing so hard.
I know.
Now I know she's on ketamine.
She's so. I mean, honestly, I know. I thought I was killing. I was like, I just thought it was funny.
You were funny. It was funny. That was a fun time. Anytime comics can get together like that and just talk about what we do, because it's a weird thing to do, and it's like. No, but not everybody approaches it the same way, right. and it helps to have, like, one of the best things about the store was it helped to have all those other comics around that were our peers that we could hang with. You know, like that back bar.
I know. The back bar is not open yet. It's not open
What?
yet.
Why isn't it open?
It just isn't open yet.
Because of COVID.
Yeah, they still, I don't know what they're
How
doing.
is that?
I don't pay attention to any of
sense?
those rules.
How does that make any fucking sense?
Well, it just kind of feels like if people wanted to get vaccinated, they got vaccinated, and now let's just move forward. It's people's choice.
Like the rates of transmit or the rates of people getting it now are so low. The rates of hospitalizations are so low. You're worse off if you have the flu now. It's like there's so few people that are getting it now.
I just tapped out.
They understand how to treat it, and then there's treatments like ivermectin, and if you understand vitamins, and I just hope more people.
Go ahead, sorry.
I hope more people use a preventative approach from here on out and take care of their body. Like, just God damn it! Like, a big part of what happened with this, so many people I know that are really healthy got it, and it was nothing. Because your immune system is fucking strong. Yeah. That's not outside. Look, for some people it is. Some people obviously have pre-existing conditions and medical issues, and I'm not talking about them, and I feel for them, and I get it. But the rest of the people that are just normal, healthy folks, this is your chance. This is your wake-up call. Get your fucking body together. Take care of it. Stop pumping shitty food into it.
Laura bites this shit, all right?
Look at what she did.
I was like,
she's
did
a
we
monster.
did we just do Freaky Friday, bitch? I gained weight, you lost it. What the hell is this?
She's a monster. She's so fucking disciplined.
She's like ripped now. You know what? She did always have it in her because she is so structured with her comedy and so like she works so hard. I remember going. I was like laughing with her about this because I was helping her go shopping for her David Spade outfit 2 years ago or whatever, and it was before she lost the weight. And I was like, oh, you should wear this outfit. And she goes, I can't show my arms. She goes, Annie, my arms have never looked like that. I like yours. And I went, yeah, but mine have looked like yours, and now they do. I was like, I work out. This is when I was doing
Friday.
This is when I was doing yoga and jiu-jitsu every fucking day. So I was like, I was working.
Yeah. Well, you can get back to that.
Yeah.
Or
I
just
started doing
one or the
yoga
other.
again. I'm doing hot yoga again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hot yoga's awesome. They allow that? You have to do it with a mask on?
You have to do it with a mask on, but it actually doesn't. It's not bad. It actually helps you breathe. It's not bad.
Do you smell farts with that mask on?
No farts, but you do smell your own nasty ass breath. It's very early that I take
know,
my
right? You
class.
get it in the mask and it just bounces back at you.
That's why you got to have a fresh mask each time. You don't want to be smelling that shit.
Do you use the paper ones? Those
Yeah.
are the best.
Yeah. Well, I was using. Yeah, I don't.
You
The
know what I
paper-
like about them? You know it's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like people with bandanas on. They're just playing a game.
Oh, the bandanas are really like.
They're hilarious. You're just playing a game. I'm a bandit. Oh. And then I like how people keep them around their neck so they look stylish.
Yeah.
And then they pull it up and they have to.
Well, it's
Some
like all the
places-
bike messengers were always wearing them.
Some people get mad at you though. You can't wear the bandana. It's not good enough. Like airplanes wouldn't let you have the bandana.
Are people still mad though? I don't know.
Some people are. Some people are just looking for an excuse to be mad.
Yeah.
They're excited about it. You know?
I'm excited that this is coming to an end. We're getting back. Being on the road is so fun. How amazing are the shows?
It's been great.
It's so amazing.
But I feel like I'm just getting my stage legs under me over the last few weeks.
Yep.
And then like I did a show Friday night in Arizona and it felt normal. But it still feels like I got to work. Like it's like not having those 8-10 months of like steady work. It's like you got to get back in shape again.
Yeah.
You got to get your stage legs
it's
back
fun
under
though.
you.
I feel like a new fresh start. It feels great.
I do too. But a lot of my material's not new. So a lot of my material's from the last, year and a half or so before the
Do
pandemic.
you feel like weird saying it? Is it hard to resonate with it now?
No, it just needs to be. I wrote about it last night. I need to overhaul some stuff, get rid of some stuff. Some stuff is just like having the wrong impact. It's like I'm doing this bit about offensive words, and I'm like, I feel like I need to restructure it. But there's a lot of things like that. It's like comedy's like so many of them, the bits that turned out to be some of my best bits. There was a point where I was like ready to give up on them. I was like, this is not having the right. It's not coming across the right way, or people are misinterpreting it, or I'm not doing a good job of expressing it. And then you just got to kind of step away. And then I like to like take it and put it down on index cards and just like look at it and just stare at it and think about it. Like, what am I doing? What am I trying to say? Like,
Yeah.
how am I, what's a, like, maybe I need to rewrite the whole thing from scratch like it never existed. Like this
Yes.
this version of the bit doesn't exist. I know I already have that.
Yeah.
That's already written. Let me rewrite it.
Yeah.
Rewrite the whole thing. Maybe there's a better way to do it. Because sometimes it's like you're losing a certain percentage of the crowd with the way you're saying something that you don't have to lose. And
Yeah.
you can get them all, or you can get a lot more of them if you just restructure things.
It
Just try it a
also,
different way.
for me, like I know the discipline of like knowing where each word is good, but I also feel like I get very like robotic when I do that. So if I just go, this is the joke, this is the premise, and then I just redo it,
Yeah, for sure.
then I'm saying it in a new way. I'm fresher. The audience is kind of hearing a new thing.
Well, I don't, even though when I restructure things, I still give myself the ability to free ball on stage because, you have a feeling when there's too many words to something and you don't know until you're up there. Or maybe a feeling that like maybe you need more words or, or maybe you need to look at it from other people. Stanhope said something once that's like really resonated. It was always a great idea. He said, I look at my bits like I'm a prosecuting attorney. Like I'm going after those bits for being fucked up, or I'm going after those bits for being lazy or something like that. I was like, oh.
That's awesome.
That's a great
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah. Well, it's like how science is trying to prove themselves wrong.
Yes. The good ones.
Yeah. I love Doug Stanhope. You guys talked about me on this podcast and it was very, very nice.
Aw.
It was so sweet. I haven't met him yet, but
Really?
yeah, I met
Oh,
all
look
his
it up.
friends.
He's the nicest.
I want to go to Bisbee. Would you go with me?
No.
Not into Bisbee?
No, that place is
Let's bring him here.
ridiculous. Yeah, bring him here.
Do a show.
I'll fly him out.
It'd be so fun.
Yeah. He
When do we get to fly private, Joe?
when do you want to?
I don't know. Where can we
Where
go?
do
What can we do?
Oh, we'll figure something. Want to work with me on the road?
Yeah.
Want to do a gig?
I would love
okay.
to.
Okay, we'll do some gigs.
Can we go to Hawaii or Vegas?
Well, I'm booked in Vegas already. I'm doing the MGM with Chappelle and Segura.
Wow. Oh, all three of you?
Yeah, nobody knows it's Segura until now. I spilled the beans. Whoopsies.
There you go.
Yeah, July 8th and 9th.
Oh, cool.
We're doing the MGM.
That's cool.
And Donnell's going to be there too, and I don't know who else.
I fucking love Donnell.
I love Donnell
I
too.
told you he got me my start in comp pretty much. Like he
Really?
put me up when I was fresh. Like I had just done like 2 open mics. I just quit drinking. My friend went to school with Esther Koo that I was living with, and Esther Koo was like,
I forgot about Esther.
"You want to be a comedian?" She goes, "I'm going to Ashley Larry's party." So I went to a Super Bowl party at his house, talking to one of his friends. One of his friends was like, "Oh, you're funny. Are you a comedian?" I was like, "Well, I just started or whatever." And he goes, "Donnell, put her on your new show." And he goes, "Are you ready this Monday?" And I go, "I'm not really ready." And he humiliated me in front of everyone. He was like, "Go hard or go home, bitch." Like he would just like, and I was so embarrassed. And then I went, and then he started putting me up every Monday. I went on the road with him. I love him.
He's the best.
I saw him when I was here last time. He was at the Vulcan, and I waited till after his set, and I was like, "Hey," and he was like, "Bitch, why did you not come on stage when I was on stage?" I like didn't even think about it, but he was like, "You should have come up."
He and I and Dave and all the people that opened when we did the Stub shows, that was a real bonding moment because that was the height of the pandemic when
Yeah.
everybody was freaked out, and we were testing, hundreds and hundreds of people for every show. Like every show we did, we tested the entire crowd, and we
Yeah.
did it outside, and they all had masks on. But it was at the point in time where people were really freaked out, and we put it together, and we had a good time. And a bunch of them wound up getting COVID, but I didn't.
I know. I'm so happy I didn't get COVID.
Yeah, you made it through.
I'm really happy about that. I'm happy no one in my family got it.
But you're a healthy person. You
Yeah.
take care of yourself,
Yeah, but who knows? I mean, if stress gives it to you, then I could have gotten it.
Yeah, if you don't have any sleep,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not taking care of yourself.
I mean, I got a fucking ulcer.
But I don't think that. I think that one of the things they think about ulcers, I think they think it might have to do with gut bacteria.
Well, I think I was having I was definitely having acid reflux. I was having GERD, which is so.
GERD?
GERD is there a dirtier name for anything?
GERD.
Did you just fart?
GERD? No.
Did you hear a fart?
That was probably me like laughing a little bit.
Jamie farted and was trying to pretend he was laughing.
I don't smell it. Maybe
You
it's
gotta get a-
GERD. Maybe it's some.
It was
like,
some GERD,
excess
but it's like when you have acid
GERD.
reflux when you're sleeping and it wakes you. You choke on your own bile. It's like horrific.
That's what GERD is?
Yes.
Okay. Gastroesophageal reflux disease, or GERD, is a digestive disorder that affects the ring of muscle between your esophagus and your stomach. This ring is called the lower esophageal sphincter. Oh, you got a sphincter in your mouth.
Yeah, that
If you
mouth
have
sphincter.
we can harp on.
I've had a sphincter in my mouth.
Find out are ulcers caused by gut bacteria? 'Cause
I definitely
feel
was
like I
eating
read-
bad. This was like in the height of the pandemic. I was like stress eating. And
Ulcer gut bacteria theory. Here it is. It's a type of bacteria enters live in your digestion. After many years, they can cause sores called ulcers in the lining of your stomach. So it's a type of bacteria that causes ulcers, but it doesn't mean that all ulcers are caused by bacteria.
I got tested for the H. pylori and I didn't have the H. pylori.
So
But
it's
I
a
was
different kind
shitting
of
black.
stomach
I was shitting fucking black.
Look at this. So
It's
it
blood.
is bacterial species. Good. Click on that. Okay. Helicobacter pylori, commonly called H. pylori, is a type of bacteria that infects the stomach and small bowel. It was discovered in 1982 by Australian researchers who also found that it causes peptic ulcer disease. Peptic ulcers are often open sores in the lining of the stomach or the upper part of the small intestine.
That's
Do you
what I
take
had.
do you take kombucha or probiotics or anything along those lines?
Yes.
Do you?
No. Yes.
No?
No.
Do you want to?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, anybody can.
Okay.
It's not
I
that
can do
hard.
it.
Yeah. Do you like kombucha?
Kombucha's, yeah, it's good.
I love
It's the
it.
only alcohol I drink.
Yeah, if you get the real shit, like the GT's kombucha, the ones that you have to have an ID to get. It's like,
Is that a relapse though? For someone that quit drinking?
I don't think it can
I just
be.
get wasted on kombucha. That's so hilarious. What an LA way to get drunk.
Right. You'd have to drink like a gallon of it to catch a slight buzz. I mean, how many? I think it's like 1/2 of 1%. Like the amount of kombucha you'd have to drink to get drunk. Like, what's the strongest kombucha you can get? I bet they have like beer kombucha where you get it.
They
and
definitely
it'll
do.
actually get you lit,
Definitely.
right? They do.
Yeah, I was
right?
already typing that. I was gonna type that. There's like weed kombucha too, which you can get high instead of.
I am not eating any of that shit. There's a place that I found in Arizona that serves weed pizza. I'm like, you can eat shit. I'm not eating weed pizza. I don't know what the
I know
fuck.
they have the weed chefs that come in.
But the thing is, it's like, who knows what dose that is?
Yeah.
You know, you get fucking crippled with paranoia. And,
Yeah.
you
You're
know,
in an ambulance. Like, oh, fuck.
If you don't expect it and you get hit with some crazy weed.
Yeah, there's a hard kombucha that says it's 4.5, that's like average beer, I think.
Is
Even
that
higher.
average beer?
I mean, I think
Really?
maybe even higher.
No. Canadian beer's like 9. Like
Oh yeah. What's the limit in Utah? That's like 4 something. right?
Yeah, it's like Utah beer.
Okay.
Bitch ass beer. In Utah, they used to have it where if you bought alcohol in a mixer, you had to buy them at separate spots. You had to buy your alcohol
Why?
there. And then because
I guess it's hard kombucha, so it's made to be alcohol.
It's like gluten-free beer when you're like, come on now.
No, the alcohol. I mean, alcohol in Utah is weird because it's like they want to make money and have commerce, but they also want to uphold their weird Mormon rules. Like I had a friend who was a Mormon, and he's like, you can't have coffee, in my religion.
Wow.
But meanwhile, this motherfucker would carry a Monster Energy drink
Yeah.
everywhere he went.
They are delicious.
They are good. But he would drink like 4 or 5 of them in a day. I go, dude, do you know how many fucking
So bad for
milligrams
you.
of caffeine you're taking in? And he was like, hey.
Well, they're just
hey,
finding like
hey.
loopholes, right? Because it's
Yeah,
whatever.
that's exactly what it was.
Well, I've never been to Utah, but I am going to be in Salt Lake City
Utah's awesome.
doing shows, which I'm excited about.
When are you there?
I'm there next month in July.
Mm.
The dates will be on my
AnnieLetterman.com.
AnnieLetterman.com. They're up there
Can
right
you get
now.
those on your Instagram, Annie Letterman?
You can. You will be able to tomorrow when this airs.
Oh.
You will
excellent.
have them. They will be in my stories. In the what are those stories when they're the circle and you keep the stories?
Oh, you save them, save stories.
Yeah, I'll put them in saved stories, so they will be up.
But do you have a schedule of where you're going that's up on your actual Instagram so people can
I
see that?
don't.
You should
I haven't.
get a graphic made so it shows.
You know what I found that
It'll
when you
help
have
you
the
a lot.
graphics, it doesn't go out.
What do you mean?
It doesn't. When they see the words on it on the algorithm, they don't give it to you because they want you to buy ads.
What?
But I'll make one up if maybe one of my really like successful friends wants to
Yeah, but it's
post
there.
about it.
You have hundreds of thousands of followers.
Yeah, but it just will only get seen by like a few thousand.
What?
Yeah,
That's real?
Yeah, I mean that's how they control the feed to make money.
yeah.
Explain that.
I mean it's built towards small businesses, but because you then are a small business, a comedian promoting yourself, they don't want. I've had because I had to deal with these uploading them. It'll notice if you have. It's not the amount of text; it's where the text is and how big it is. So if it's taking up 10% of the picture, it will just not go out into the feed unless instantly, 10% of your people like it, comment on it, share it themselves, bookmark it, do all these things. They want you to pay to send
For
it out.
ads, yeah.
Oh, so if you do that and you want to promote it, you'd have to like a promoted ad and then it would show
Right.
up as a promoted ad.
Yeah.
But people get grossed out by those.
Yeah, and I don't want to do that. I mean, if
Yeah.
I have to, I'll do it. But who knows? Maybe people repost
But if
it.
you just put it there, at least people that go to your page will find you. Trying
Yeah.
to repost it? Is that what
no,
you're
I
trying to do?
would never do that. I'm
It
not
seems like-
desperate.
It seems like she
I'm
was.
not a
It seems like she
desperate
was
person.
trying
I'm
to
not a
Pressure
desperate
response.
person. I'm not a desperate
Okay.
person.
Yeah. Okay. AnnieLetterman.com. Go there.
No, but I'll post it. Yeah, no, I will post it. I'll have it up, and I can if I put it in the stories with links, and then I can put it in one of my saved things. It'll be
Do
good.
all that shit.
I will.
Do all that shit.
I will.
Annie Lederman on tour.
I'm just so fun. It's so fun. I was just like loving it.
I'm
It's so fun
excited
to be
for
back.
you. It's so
I just-
nice because I mean, when we first met, you were in the heat of the struggle, kid. Mm-hmm. You know.
I was living out of my car and shit for the second time.
Now you're balling.
I feel great. I'm very
That's
excited.
awesome.
It's
You
so
deserve
fun. It's just such a different experience when you do weekends. And are you coughing because I drank the water and you can't drink it?
No, I drank coffee before this stuff, and it's got like a lot of like phlegm stuff in
Yeah.
it. Like this must have some sort of milk or something in it, because I keep doing that.
Well,
but goddamn, is this delicious?
it's
Black
so
Rifle
good.
coffee, your espresso 300.
But there's such a difference. Like, do you even remember when you would perform and they didn't know who you were?
Oh yeah, for
It's
sure.
so hard because I'm such a specific, I'm myself. So it's like a lot of people aren't going to like me, which is totally fine. But it's to to do these shows where most of the audience is just people that are like, let's take the family out to a comedy show. And then I'm like, they're like, oh God. It's just such a different experience when people know who I am and are coming. It's just so fun.
I don't think it started happening to me. Well, when it happened to me, it was actually a trick because they knew me from Fear Factor. So it's really kind of a dirty trick.
Yeah.
Like some people knew me from my stand-up. You know, like I was selling out some clubs. Like I would do really well in some places back before Fear Factor, like when I was on News Radio. But even maybe then they liked me from News Radio. Maybe some people saw me because of that and then maybe liked my comedy.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until after Fear Factor that people started coming to see me specifically, knowing what I did, and that took a while. It was during the beginning of the podcast days, like in 2009, that it really started to take off.
Yeah,
that was when I started doing big theaters.
And people start to really invest in like who you are, and they're just excited to.
Well, you know this from doing your own podcast and doing all the other podcasts you've done. People, you're in their head in this weird way.
Yeah.
Like they know you. Like people come up to me like, dude, and I'm like, hey, what's up?
Yeah,
Like,
I know. And then I slam them into a wall and ask for $100. That was one of the funniest things, honestly.
Our little thing.
That was so
Every time I would
funny.
see it, I'm like, hey, keep a little something for yourself.
Joey's like, what are you doing? And I was like, Joey, do not laugh at the fucking joke, Joey. It's a funny joke. Ha.
It was a funny joke we were doing.
No, thank you so much. I'm very grateful. That was very helpful back then.
Yeah, well.
I'm so happy that I don't need that anymore.
No, I'm happy you don't need it. I knew you weren't going to. I knew it was like there's certain people that you just know. You just know if you already had the most important thing. You were already funny. It was just a matter of the rest of the world figuring it out and you putting in the time and developing a real act. You know, that's all it was. It's like I always say that to like people that are struggling in the beginning. I always go way out of my way to tell them that. I'm like, you already have it. You got the thing. You're fucking. You know who's fucking hilarious? Brian Simpson.
Oh yeah, he really
Holy
is funny.
shit, is that dude funny?
Yeah.
Holy shit,
He
is
has
he
something
funny.
coming out. I don't think I'm allowed to tell, but
Yeah.
you'll
you can't say
know
it.
who he is. You'll know who he is soon.
He's a fucking monster.
He's so
We
funny.
did a bunch of shows at Creek in the Cave and at Vulcan. He's one of those guys. I told him, I go, dude, you're going to be fucking huge. You're going to be huge because his premises are so clever. His delivery's fantastic. He murders. And he's got the most important part, which is like some people are really good at marketing and they're really good at like putting he's just a murderer on stage, just a murderer. And it's just time. It's just time before everybody figures it out.
And honestly, he's one of the products. I think him, Laura Bites, I would say myself too, like those late night spots at the Comedy Store where you just get to kind of perform to so few people, but you really get to figure your shit out.
Yeah.
And the Comedy Store process actually really does work for you.
Oh yeah.
And then that you just start getting, like now they're giving me such good spots. It's so fun.
The process works, but also what also works is that boiler room of all those other comics around you that are killers. Like, and you are doing a show and Jesselnick's on the show and this person and that person, all these killers. You're just bang, 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 all these people that are murdering, and you go on stage after them and, you know, you have to kind of keep that same energy.
Yeah.
It's a big factor.
It's really fun. It is. Well, when Tommy was doing it, he used to put me in between like killers when I was very new.
I don't want to do it.
He'd go,
put you.
He'd go, I'm going to catapult you up. And then Adam came in and then I was right back to the bottom. But I worked my way up.
Sound a little bitter.
I'm not bitter.
That's okay.
No, I'm grateful. I really, honestly, I feel like very happy with my trajectory.
Well, you should. You're fucking hilarious. And
I feel like I got time to figure it out.
You'll be on the top of the food chain in just a couple. I guarantee you. 100%.
Thank you.
Fucking hilarious. And you're awesome. And
I love you.
I love you too.
Thank you so much. I might have missed my plane, but it was worth it.
Fuck your plane. All right. AnnieLetterman.com, Annie Letterman on Twitter, Annie Letterman on Instagram.
Instagram is my favorite.
She shows
And
her
then
butt.
I don't show my butt too much. Sometimes it peaks.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, guys. Thank you.